welcome back everyone, welcome back to another season here of the Crank Gathers. The Crank Gathers Season 4 Qualifier. I'm of course just your host IVIP. With me I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome one all to something a little bit different, so something a little bit special here. Welcome to the Crank Gathers tournament. This is a tournament that is organized, that is run by J1 Choi, pap. Yes, the J1 Choi. CranKy does run the event. He is partnered with GgMaChine, as you can see the logo top right, but GgMaChine, they are an alternative streaming platform over in Korea. They're a competitor to Soup. So Soup does have like GSL and GSL CK. GgMaChine does have the Crank Gathers events and other events that they do run individually, independently as well. Another competitor to Soup. Oh boy. And they've been hosting StarCraft tournaments, and now actually coming in and hosting not necessarily StarCraft 2, but StarCraft Evolution. SC Evo tournament here is abound. It is going to be a team league, and it's going to be a spicy team league at that. As you can see here, this is the qualifier. We're going to have 4 series and four teams, sorry, 8 teams in total. 8 teams in total is 4 series, and 4 of them will advance on into the main event to join the other teams. Oh boy, we're here for it. We are here for it. We are ready. Coming into this event as well, I should also emphasize that the teams were, of course, constructed to come together. All these players did pull together as one, and there's some interesting teams, not gonna lie. As we get into this, a big shout out as well. A big shout out to Cian Gab. Obrigado. Fala galera. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. Cian, of course, he is a Brazilian caster, so thank you so much for the support. Hope you had a great time over on your own channel. Bienvenidos. Obrigado. Thank you so much for, oh my god, an anonymous donation as well. Anonymous tip of $16. Thank you so much for the support. Once again, we appreciate it dearly. Gracias. We appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, the StarCraft, and even the StarCraft Evolution as well, as we can get into the series ahead of us here. So up first, we have 2 teams. 2 teams are going to be facing off against each other in a qualifying match. It is going to be Team Red, White, and Blue versus the Old Men. Oh boy. Let's go, bro. Let's go. When it comes to the team itself, if you're familiar with the CranKy Ducklings, you should be familiar with Team Old Men, as that is the Chinese team with Jeshi alongside, oh, can I, off the top of my head, is it Jeshi? It's Kingslayer and not Cyan. I think it's Maxed or Cyan. Oof. I'm gonna look in Cyan, Jeshi, Kingslayer. Hold on, let me just double check. So double check Team Old Man. Yeah, Cyan, Jeshi, Kingslayer. Oh, we got it, bro. We got it. So there we go. It is a team of 3 of Team Old Men. Team Red, White, and Blue is a bit of a play on words, kind of, or it sounds like an American team. It is not. It is not an American team here, but it does include teams with players that have Red, White, and Blue in their flags. Can you think of what flags those could be, Pappy? Oh my god. I think my go-to was like, is that a French team? Is that a is that what that is? But I feel like French teams that usually go for like a different kind of a team name to represent them. But when it comes to the team itself, we do have the team captain, who is uThermal, of course, from the Netherlands, also Red, White, and Blue. Alongside uThermal, it is going to be Vaeda, who used to go by Hydra, if you recall. Alongside them, we do have the homie himself, clearly UK Australian team. It is uThermal alongside Vaeda, alongside Goblin from Croatia. True, Croatia technically does have actually a very similar flag to the Netherlands as well. So Goblin alongside Blask. Again, Goblin and Blask have been playing a lot together in the 2v2s for the StarCraft Evolution tournament. Blask recently came back to compete as a player as well in SC Evo. You have uThermal, who has been dipping his toes quite heavily into StarCraft Evolution as well, and Vaeda, who I don't recall seeing too much when it comes to SC Evo content. Again, Vaeda used to go by Hydra, but again, I don't recall them playing too much StarCraft Evolution. Same with Goblin. I would say that Goblin and Vaeda are probably going to be some of the weaker links in the SC Evo matches, but Blask and uThermal, they're going to be there to carry as well. Let's go. Let us go. We have other teams which we'll be getting into later on down the line, of course. And when it comes to the match itself, again, this is a replay cast. This was live casted less than 2 days ago. Originally we were going to be casting this yesterday morning, but we weren't quite available for it. Something had come up, so we had to postpone our broadcast here of the CranKy Qualifier. But again, we can now jump into it here and now. Again, it's going to be, each qualifying match is a best of 7, by the way, best of 7 match. There are going to be 4 matches in total. We're going to cover 2 matches today and 2 matches tomorrow. It was a very long cast. It was a very long cast, very long event. Shout out to crew, of course. CranKy Ducklings were actually adminning and running the tournament, and we could have we had the option to cast this live, by the way, but if we did, it'd be live exclusive to Chijik, and we were actually not able to share the VOD on other platforms either. So we could have gone for live coverage, but it would have been very, very limited, and a lot of foreigners most likely would not have watched it. So like people outside of Korea. So we are going to be covering it via replays instead. That is the plan. But here we go. We're going to be jumping on in, and game 1 is going to be between Goblin and Kingslayer. Now, when it comes to the format, it is not just a best of 7. Very quickly here, let us switch our scenes over to our bracket here. It is going to be best of 7, but it is going to be all kill format. Oh boy, so it's been a while, papi. It's been a while. It is going to be all kill format. What does that mean? That means that we're going to be starting here with Goblin versus Kingslayer. And the winner stays on, the loser is knocked out, and then we step in with another teammate, of course, with another player, whether it's Jeshi, Cyan, uThermal, Vaeda, or of course Blask. Let's go. First, going to be loading into Fighting Spirits between Goblin and Kingslayer. Goblin is playing SE2 Protoss. Kingslayer is playing Brood War Terran, and I believe it's loser's pick. I believe that is the format here, whereas the losing team can not just field their player, but they can also field their respective, not just their player, but also whether they play Brood War or SE2. Let's go. It's catching on up. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, Kura letting us know that it alternates between SE2 and Brood War. Okay. Does alternate. Good to know. Also, I should emphasize as well when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, if maybe you're tuning in for the first time, StarCraft Evolution is a mod that does bring together Brood War versus SC2. The Brood War races are kind of unique amongst themselves. SC2 races are going to be the previous version of StarCraft 2 races. True. So it might be a little bit confusing here. But StarCraft 2 here is going to be represented what they were before this latest patch. So that means we're going to be starting with 12 workers. It means that we do have a change to the Ghost, for example, a change to the lava production, a change to the Widowmine, for example. It's going to be a slower Widowmine, and all those other changes have been reverted for this. True. So slightly stronger Storm, a different Ghost, weaker Widowmine, things of that nature. What else comes to mind? Older Warband mechanics. True. Stronger Mothership. Just all those changes that happened in the patch have been reverted for this. Except the ace match, which is a coin flip. Oh, there you go. Does coin flip for the ace match if we get there. Oh god, this map is so imbalanced. I'm reminded about where we're loading into. Let's go, baby, let's go. We are getting into our first game of the series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner here of Fighting Spirits. We have the Croatian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Goblin. Sorry, I was a little bit confused. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the Chinese Terran player. We have the blue Terran, the Brood War Terran. Representing Team Old Man, it is Kingslayer, who is the youngest of the old men. Like Kingslayer, he's like in his 20s. Like God damn it. And we open up with the proxy. Let's go. All right, let's go. Welcome one all to Fighting Spirit. Fighting Spirit is a 4-player spawn map. Sorry, I confused this map with a different one, so my apologies. Whenever you guys did my comments on the map earlier, but you can spawn in bottom left, top right, top right, sorry, bottom right, top right, and top left as well. So 4 possible spawn locations. We can see Goblin is looking for his opponent. He's looking for Kingslayer in that top left hand spawn. Meanwhile, we are proxying dead set in the center. Oh my god, a committed proxy as well. 3 Raxes here. We can produce 3 Marines at a time. No gases back at home, bear that in mind. So it's going to be a purely an all-in here from Kingslayer, and Goblin is playing blind. Now he does thankfully not go Nexus first. He's going Gate Expand back at home. But how long will it take for him to recognize what's going on? Does scout top left, does find that Kingslayer's nowhere to be found, and now he's going to be checking bottom right instead. But again, it's going to be a late scout here. Second probe gets sent. I do appreciate that Goblin doesn't rely on that one worker to scout, sends out a second worker just to be a little bit safer here, and he should encounter the fact that the Raxes are nowhere to be found. So here we go. Probe does move in. Also, yep, true. Best of 7. Best of 7. Likewise, Kingslayer is also looking true. It's also on Kingslayer to find his opponent. Goblin is not top right. Goblin pokes in, confirms Raxes are missing. No gases, no gases, no Raxes. Goblin now knows 100% proxy Rax. He knows. And back at home, we do need to produce as much as we can. The Cybercore is still on the way. Bunkers, they should be thrown down. Here they come. Yeah, bunkers are coming. Pylons exposed. No battery. Ooh, and yeah, I was about to say that I don't think Goblin should try to save this at this point. It's too late. It's too late to save the natural. We're setting up in the main. Batteries are being thrown down. 2 batteries in the main base. Stalker is being chronoed as we speak. Chronoing out the Stalker. Pylon will fall. And we'll see if Goblin lets this finish. Nah, okay, it does cancel. Thankfully, it does cancel. Stalker has arrived. The bunkers will complete, but they won't really impact this. There we go. We do have the cancel. Yeah, cancel the bunker, getting a bunker up on the high ground. Oh, and we'll see if he can get it up. Now we have 2 batteries. Yeah, with that, we have a force to cancel, and Goblin's holding. Goblin's holding on. Again, very nice batteries here. They do finish up in time. They are within range of the Stalkers, within range of the ramp. And the aggression is subsiding. I mean, Kingslayer, he's stuck on the low ground. Behind this, what do we have? A second gas geyser is on the way. First one as well. This tells us that Kingslayer is transitioning. We have the Academy for Stim. Bearing in mind, for StarCraft 1, for StarCraft Evolution, for the Terran player, they don't have add-ons. Or add-ons are a little bit different. They have the machine shop, of course. They do have some nuclear silos. They do have their comsat stations. So add-ons are a little bit more limited. To get Stim, you don't need a tech lab. You need the Academy. So the Academy is on the way. Stim can be produced without disrupting the production of the Marines, except there is a bit of a supply block. Oof. There we go, Stim has begun. Likewise, the Academy also unlocks medic production, so we could see medics to reinforce these Marines. For now, just pure Marine. And Kingslayer is containing, that is true, but we have a robo on the way. What does that mean? Warp Prism. We can get there, it is. We can get the Warp Prism, we can counterattack across the map, we can warp in across the map as well, and Kingslayer is going to be in trouble back at home, as back at home there is nothing to defend. There's no production here. There's no factory. All the Marines are across the map, so one Prism across the map can completely shut Kingslayer down. Bunker does fall. Medic production is underway. Oh, and there's a sentry. Yeah, that's all we need. We have the sentry, we have a couple of stalkers. So basically, the Prism should be getting across the map. That should trigger Kingslayer to push in, because he's like, oh my god, I can't defend back at home. Looks like there was a bit of a pause, looks like there was a bit of a lag out. But from here, Kingslayer can try to commit up the ramp, but that's where the force field comes into play. All we need is one good force field, and the army cannot push up the ramp. So Goblin is set up back at home, gets across the map. Dropping into the mineral line, SCVs will go down. There's nothing at home to defend. Going for another warp in. Here comes the army. Oh, there's a force field. Personally, I would have liked to have seen the force field cut the army like into thirds or pick off a couple of units here, but in the end, just playing it safe, full force field. The army cannot move in. And back across the map, 0 economy here for Kingslayer. There is no mining. We have 1 SCV mining gas. Otherwise, that will be an SCV kill. We can just camp the mineral line and pick off depots. And Kingslayer, he's racing back home to defend. I do feel like that Goblin could be a little bit more proactive here to get within range of the SCVs and to kill workers, to do some more meaningful damage. But I mean, he's supply blocking Kingslayer, gets 2 deepers. Like, even here, we can fight. Like, we can... It's 1 Marine. we can stand our ground. Goblin playing very scared. Very, very scared. So he does give Kingslayer a lot of breathing room. Army gets spotted. There is an opening. Goblin just playing it safe, and Goblin will expand. So again, I do feel like more damage could have or should have been done here. Goblin a little bit more tame, but does wind it back, does pull away. We could see potentially Ninja Base, but because Goblin has been a little bit more tame in his aggression here, it means that the game is progressing. We're progressing, we're building up into our 2 base economies. Kingslayer has still yet to expand. True, there's still no natural base yet. His production's up in the air, so no additional marine production. Colossi are on the way. As once again we try to move in. And once again we try to move in, we cannot quite. And now we have Colossus. Like, Colossus have arrived. At this point, Kingslayer can't really do anything here. He's now forced to expand. He's being forced to commit and transition. But again, it's very delayed here for Kingslayer, so things looking quite bleak for the Terran. They're looking bleak, pappy. Not like this. So I was just fixing up some audio issues. From here, Goblin's now moving out. He wants to catch up this bio army, these marines. Looking to catch him out. Alright, Goblin looking to engage. Tanks on siege. True. Siege mode is researched, thankfully. The Marine's going to be going down. Nice force fields looking down the army. Catching other tanks. Getting 1, 2. Oh my god. 2 tanks go down. There's 1 tank left. Automass and the bio army just melts against the Colossus. Yeah, massive swipes on the Marines. We're down to 3 medics. Oh god. Down to 2. Get down to a handful of units here. And Goblin just snowballs out of control. Again, there was a lot of potential with the cheese, with the all-in. But again, Goblin, he was so quick to react and set up in his main base. Once again, winding it back, it was crucial that Goblin did not try to save the natural. He just gave up the natural, was quick to do so. He got the refund as well, did not lose the Nexus. And GG. GG gets called. Goblin takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Goblin, he'll take a lead in the series. He'll take a lead for his team. The boys, team red, white, and blue. Oh my god, all the freedom, pappy. All the freedom. As he does have a Croatia, and with that, Goblin does take a lead. Kingslayer had some potential with his cheese going for the proxy, but as we mentioned, he wasn't really able to gain any ground. He maybe fixated a little bit too much at the natural. We needed a little bit more urgency to push up into the main base, but because he gave Goblin so much time to finish up his batteries, it meant that there was no threat to the main, right? Once the batteries were done, Goblin could just back off, get up the ramp, and GG. Right? There was no way for Kingslayer to really threaten the ramp and threaten the main base. Could not move in. Time was of the essence, and with that, congratulations, Goblin does take a lead for his team, for the boys, for the homies, if you will, and we'll see if he can keep the streak going, because up next we have our next challenger, the old men. They fielded one of their old boys. It is going to be a Protoss player, of course. It is going to be Jeshi. Ooh, so there's obviously they're saving Cyan. Cyan, he is arguably the best player in all of China right now, the best player period in all of China, so we're just holding off on Cyan, keeping close to the chest. Up next going to be the PvP. Let's go. Colin just wants to play the mid game. Oh no. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Fear and Faith, we do have the red Protoss player from the land of Croatia, representing team red, white, and blue, the Brood War Protoss. It is Goblin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the Chinese Protoss, the SC2 Protoss now. It is, representing Team Old Man, it is GgMaChine. The old man, papi. Let's go. Let us go, as we are going to be diving into game number 2 here, and this is where it's going to be a good opportunity for Team Old Man to have a bit of a comeback and to recover in this series. Why do I say that? Well, Goblin is one of the least experienced players on his team with StarCraft Evolution. I mentioned this before, but when it comes to SC Evo, I do look at Blask and I look at uThermal as the two like heavy hitters in SC Evo. Goblin, of course, his speciality is SC2. StarCraft Evolution, less so. So we'll see how our players will engage with each other. First things first, welcome to Fear and Faith. Goblin does use, of course, that monorail system to head on over to the bottom right hand corner of the map, looking for his opponents. Remember, there's another 4-player spawn map, 4 possible spawn locations, and Goblin, he's going to make the round trip and he will eventually find GgMaChine. Oh, they actually come across each other. Oh. Wait, can the workers fight each other inside of the tube? Is that a thing? I mean, they're going to pass by. They do pass by each other, but yeah, I don't think we've ever had that kind of situation where workers, they bounce off each other and they might even be able to fight inside. I cannot say for certain. Regardless, when he's scouting every corner of the map, Goblin will now find GgMaChine, and it is cross spawns, diagonal spawn locations between GgMaChine and Goblin because of this long rush distance by ground. If we did want to embrace the mid to late game, this is now the situation for that to occur, because we have far spawns, right? We have far spawns between GgMaChine and Goblin, so now there's a higher chance we can build up into the natural, build up into the third base, and build up into the mid game. We'll see if that does occur though, bearing in mind that GgMaChine with the warping mechanic can be more active and more aggressive and more in the face of Goblin. For now, 2-gate opener into our natural. Likewise, Goblin doing something very similar, going gate, cyber, expand into second gateway. From here, we're building up Dragoons, building up Adepts, and it's going to be on Goblin to keep up with the Adept harassment. Adepts are going to be moving out to try to shade into the bases and cripple the economy. If they get in, they will cripple that economy. So Goblin's going to be on point. When it comes to PvP, Dragoons are less agile, they're less mobile. In a head-on fight, they are stronger, of course, but their mobility is really where they lack, and it's going to be on Goblin to make sure he keeps up with the shades and keeps up with the movement of GgMaChine. Behind this, it is going to be the robotics facility, so it looks like a Reaver follow-up, which is very standard in PvP, so Dragoon into Reaver. Reavers, they are a cross between Disruptor and Immortal. They do play that role. The reason for this is because, again, for Brood War units, we are a lot more limited. They're just less units. They're just less units available to you. So a lot of these units do have to kind of take on multiple roles to be able to, you know, fulfill themselves and fulfill the race. So again, the Reaver, if we do head into Reaver production, it does kind of shoot like a Disruptor where you have to like charge a shot and build a Scarab, of course, but it does hit quite hard and it does lock onto units, unlike the Disruptor. So that's why we say it's kind of like a cross between the Disruptor and Immortal. It does become the backbone of the Protoss army. There's the bay. There's the bay. There's the observatory. Again, working towards Reavers. Meanwhile, Dark Shrine? Okay, Proxy Pylon at a GgMaChine is going to be going for the Twilight Council opener into the Dark Shrine. Of course, there's no gateway, so it's going to be slow warp-ins for GgMaChine. Thankfully, because Goblin went for the Robo opener, it means that he will have detection. Observers are on the way. Detection is going to be available. Now, whether the observer is in position or not, that's a bit of a question, because the first observer should be rallied across the map. It should be rallied across the scout to confirm what's going on. If that's the case, then there won't be detection back at home because we're busy making Reavers. And remember, there's no recall. I mean, recall is a very different kind of tool in Brood or Protoss. Recall does exist with the Arbiter, but that's in the late game, right? Recall is not available just to be able to be used in the early to mid game. So if the observer's out of position, then you can punish quite hard. Now, thankfully, the observer is parked outside of the main. So just parked outside. We're not scouting. Third base is now being taken. Likewise, we have the shuttle speed upgrade on the way. So working on Reaver drops. Dark Templar's warping in. Ooh, the observer moves out. Uh-oh. Yeah, the observer moves out. And this can very quickly be game-winning damage. If the observer's out of position, if DT's waddle in, then how many workers are going to go down before detection is available? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the observer's halfway across the map. Stalkers, they poke in towards the third base. DT's activated. They move in. Goblin, does he notice? He does not. Still no backup observer on the way. And is this just game, by the way? Are we just... GGs, they move in. Yeah, they move in. They one-shot probes, and probes are going to be going down in the natural and in the main as well. Ooh, they're on A move. Uh-oh. Jeshi's on A moves. They get dragged and they get locked onto the Dragoons. So some wasted DPS. Observer's racing back home. We have a backup observer being built. Once again, we're on A move here, so we're lacking some control. So wasted DPS. This does mean that we will clean this up. Only 8 probes, 9 probes, 10, I mean, it's still going to get a hint. 10 probe kills, but this could have been so much worse. Could have been so much worse. Again, there was no target firing happening in the main base, so we did see a lot of wasted damage. This could have been 20 probe kills. Like, this could have been devastating damage. This is still good damage, but not as much as it could have been. As Jesh is claiming his third base, moving forward with his main army. Reavers are amassing. So far, we have 1 Reaver. Reaver production was disrupted because of the observers, of course. So she starts to move out. As it moves in. Jesse does move in. Likewise, Goblin is in position here. He has to be very careful, of course. There's a lot of value, there's a lot of power in this shuttle, but also if it gets sniped, I mean, that could also just be game. He also died. Gotta be careful, gotta respect it. Respect the Stalkers. Goblin pulls away, first Scarab Shot goes off. Again, picking up a Stalker at a time. But Jeshi still might be able to overwhelm. I'm sure he's tempted to blink. I'm sure he's tempted. There's what, 1 Scarab left. Shot goes off. Dragoons are trying to hold their own. There's still no battery ready. Yeah, still no battery, but we have reinforcements, and Jeshi holds. Sorry, Goblin holds. Goblin, he will hold on. He will survive. Jeshi bleeding out a lot of Stalkers there. Has to pull away. And as time goes on, we should be building up more and more Reavers here. Again, getting extra gateways up and running as well. Goblin reinforcing. Making 2 Reavers at a time. Ooh, don't blink in. Oh my god, the punish. The punish is strong. Yeah, Stalkers, they're crazy. They blink in, they get punished by the Reavers. They did not kill the shuttle. We'll delay the 4th base for a moment. But these have been expensive losses. Actually, we got to calm down. Goblin going to break out. Oh. Catching out the Dark Templar. Oof. Oh my god. His shots are going off. What's that? 3 Stalkers going down? Calm down, Pappy. Yeah, blinks are becoming a little bit too late. Again, you can blink control, you can blink micro away from these Reaver shots, but we've not been seeing that here. It's not been happening. Not like this. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Foxter in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you enjoyed yourself in the university team league as well. Ooh, and Stalkers, they do dive in. We were looking at some of the results yesterday, but GG, Pappy, GG. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. As Reavers will punish the Stalkers, a lot of Dragoons do get focused down. Once again, Goblin is holding. He's holding on. He's surviving. Catching at the Observer. Building up on 4 bases. The thing with Jeshi, we've been focusing a lot on what Goblin's been up to. Jeshi is still not teched up into Disruptor production or into any kind of higher form of tech, into Immortals. He does have Charge, but again, has yet until finally incorporating some Zealots himself. Now diversifying his composition a little bit more. Building up his army. Jeshi rotating over towards the 4th base. I will say that Jeshi has successfully been able to reset the Reaver count more often than not, so it's still been relatively low, but now we're finally building up to a 5th Reaver. I was curious, I was like, where were the Reavers? Aha, we're dropping. A risky maneuver here from Goblin. As I mentioned previously, without recall, there's no easy way to come back home and no easy way to reinforce. So, they're going to be on their own. Scrap just in the middle line. Ooh, catching at 9 probes. Very nice. Dropping at the 4th. Jeshi going for his own drop. We have a 2nd shuttle. Okay. Este Goblin. So as they move in, picking up the pylon at the same time. Ooh, DT and Zell drop into the main. Yeah, we're dropping in. Goblin, he defends his main army, defends his 4th base, but the main base is under fire, and that's a lot of probes going down. Once again, they're on A move. The cannon is tanking a lot, buying a lot of time. Oh! Ooh. Yeah, the first shuttle is going to be focused down. Gets one more shuttle. Oh my god, the Stalkers, they just get annihilated. That's still 27 probes. There's still 30 probes going down. Critical damage here. 2 full mineral lines. Oh my god. 30 probe kills. Still harassing, still warping in. Goblins being torn apart. Goblin has had enough. He's just F2ing across the map. He's just setting everything. Send it all, baby. Send it all. It's all or nothing. No, the Reavers. Okay. Reavers don't get they don't get caught out. Oh, they can hold so many scarabs after the capacity upgrade. And we're going for the base trade. Jeshi's going to be backstabbing at the same time. We're going to get rowdy. Goblin does have the stronger main army. That is true. And Jeshi, he will avoid it. He'll avoid the main army. The 4th base is going to go down. At the same time, the 3rd is going down for Jeshi. Goblin trying to make a stand. Oh! Okay, Skytrot's going up. Stalker's getting caught out. Oh my god, we just keep chasing. The Scarab shots. And they keep going, Baffy. Meanwhile, Goblin pushing into the natural. He has broken the 3rd. Catching reinforcements. Oof. It does catch them, and Jeshi's running out of steam. He's running out of army. He only has a couple of Stalkers remaining. He does have some DTs in the mix that will be quite annoying. That can be an issue. But there is detection. And Jeshi doesn't have enough. Wow, Jeshi does not have enough. He did amazing when it comes to harassing, but the main army, the Reavers, the Dragoons, we have built up to critical mass, and Goblin, he's doing it. Getting across the map. There is one Dark Temp. Sorry, there's a Zell warping in. There is detection here for Goblin. Does have the Observer. Oh my god. Oof. Yeah, massive scout shots here on the Zealots. Massive connections. Oh my god. Warpins are being denied. Has to push up the ramp. 64 probe kills, and we're pushing up the ramp into Reavers. Oh no, he cannot move in. Oh my god. Not like this. GG gets called, and Goblin able to take a 2-0 lead for his team. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Goblin, even with a Brood War Protoss, able to come out on top. I will say that this was a shakier game, and there was a lot of potential for Jeshi. I mentioned earlier that the DT harass, like, I felt like that was very underwhelming. That had so much potential. Killed 10 probes, could have been up to 20. But again, there was some miscontrol or lack of control with the Dark Templar. They want to A move, so we saw less damage than we could have seen. And with that, Goblin was able to tank that damage, recover, recuperate, build up into his own Reavers, and then break out across the map. We saw that once again, Jeshi was doing an amazing job harassing. He was killing a lot of workers throughout the tail end of that game, leading into the tail end of that game, but he could never deal with the main army. His main army was lacking. We didn't try to emphasize in the mid game that Jeshi, he was very adverse to diversifying his composition. He was stuck on Mass Stalker and eventually Stalker Zealot for too long. He did neglect any kind of immortal production or disruptors himself. He did not take up in a robo anywhere near as fast enough. He was trying to end the game earlier with a gateway composition, and he failed to do so. GG, well played with that Goblin. He will be able to claim his second game, and now there's only one player left here for Team Old Man. Remember, they're a team of 3. Kingslayer is out, Jeshi is out, and now Cyan is stepping into the ring. Oh boy. Now, he is the best player in all of China right now, bearing in mind that Oliveira did win Doyo Cup. True, that is true. But again, Oliveira, he is more or less retired. Cyan stepping into the ring here. He is the ace player of Team Old Man. He's the oldest of men. And we'll see if he can start that comeback. Oh boy. As it turns of tabled, Goblin is now going to be able to embrace his best race, SC2 Protoss. Oh boy. Again, it's going to be a tough one here for Cyan. We'll see what he brings to the table, bearing in mind that we didn't really get to discuss too much about the Chinese players, but they are not too familiar with StarCraft Evolution. They don't really play in too many SEVO events, so I'm not too certain what to expect from their StarCraft Evolution builds. Let's go. And their play. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Washouts, we have the red Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss from Atlantic Croatia, representing his team, representing team red, white, and blue, with 2 wins under his belt. He's pulling his weight. It is Goblin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself. We have the Chinese Protoss, the Brood War Protoss for the team, for the old man. It is Cyan. Just catching him in the chat. Me and Fian hard trolled, but it was such a big upset that it was hard not to just laugh. I didn't actually say anything about it, but when I saw the score, I was very surprised. I was not expecting I think it was Patches' team, right? I was not expecting that result to occur. So I was like, do they off race? Like, what happened? Like, what's going on? So yeah, interesting to hear that there was some trolling going on. You're both animals. You're both animals. Aye. But I hope you guys had a good time nonetheless. GG, man. GG. Este Foxer. Yeah. But here we go. Here we go. We are jumping into... Oh. We're jumping into the rest of our series. Jumping to game number 3. So here we go. So Goblin does open up with a Gate Cyber Expand. So a greedier build here by Goblin, actually. Okay, does cut some corners. Meanwhile, Cyan going for a faster Nexus, a Gate Expand into Cybercore. So a greedier build by Cyan. Goblin is cutting corners himself, but not as many as his opponents. It's going to be a Nexus after Cybercore. Cyan going Nexus before Cybercore. Here we go. From here, we're going to be opening up Dragoon. And again, I'm curious to see how Cyan will approach this matchup and how much experience he has with StarCraft EVO. How much experience, Pappy? Goblin versus Cyan. Okay. From here, though, it is going to be... Oh, Stargate. Okay, so it's going to be the initial greedier build here by Goblin into Stargate follow-up. Designed to harass with oracles, of course. Designed to deal economic damage. Meanwhile, across the map, Cyan is going into Forge. Oh, not quite. But he's rushing into a Citadel here. We're rushing into Charge, into Zealot Legs. So speed lots are going to be on the way here for Cyan. I'm imagining this is for speed lots. Technically, this can gain access to Dark Templar, I suppose, but I feel like DT rushes are going to be less viable in PvP from the Brood War Proto side of things without the fast warp-ins. So we're imagining this is for Zealot Legs, into Forge, into +1. Very gateway heavy composition here by Cyan. This tells us that Cyan is not going Reaver play, which is the standard, by the way. Like Goblin, he was going Reavers for good reason last time. Reavers are pretty good. There's Zealot Legs. Going into Zealot Legs. The Oracle coming in from behind. Nothing shoots up. We're gonna have 2 Dragoons. Okay, there's gonna be 2 Dragoons to defend. Oracle does hit. Getting 1, 2, getting to 3. Ooh, 2. Okay, 2 probe kills at the same time. Cyan does push in. Pushing to the natural. Batteries in position. Stalkers as well. Dragoons, remember, they do outrange. They outrange Stalkers. They're beefier as well. They're more robust. But they're less mobile. They have no blink. No potential for blink. So far, nice kiting out of Cyan. Scuttling away. Huh. So we get shot off. Pull back. Oh, does overextend. We'll lose 1. Yeah, trades 1 for 1. A better trade for Goblin. As he even gets a second Dragoon as well. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the Oracles, they come in from behind. They focus on the Dragoon. Massive pickup. Getting 2. Getting 3. Yeah, heavy losses for Cyan. Bleeding out too much. Back at home, a bit of a panic here. Throws down some batteries. Building up his gateway counts. Again, getting into Zealot legs, into mass Zealots. Now, Goblin, I believe, did he scout? He saw, yeah, he saw the Citadel. He saw the Citadel. He did not see the Forge, but, I mean, the Citadel screams Zealot legs, right? Like, why else would you get it, aside from Dark Templar? Or, I guess, getting ready like, to take out further into Dark Templar, into High Templar and Archons. Oh. Oh, as the Oracle gets shut down. A nice pickoff. Cyan does catch one of the Oracles. Third base not being taken. Blink is halfway done. Interestingly enough, despite the fact that we did rush into Zealot legs, we're not actually making many. There we go. We're now starting to make a couple of Zealots. Robotics facilities on the way. That should be for shuttle play, for potentially Reavers as well. I would imagine it has to be for Reaver play. Goblin's moving out. The Oracle's still trying to be active. Now, I don't see Goblin overwhelming this army, but we can just bypass. Yeah, he just ignores it. Massive revelation. He sees the army moving out. As he moves out, Goblin moves in. Suddenly he has to respond. He's racing back home. And what do we pick up? What do we pick up here? Not much. A Zealot, a Dragoon. Does not commit further. I do feel like there was potential to maybe push further in, but plays it safe. Goblin does play it safe. Now, I will say that in a head-on fight, in a head-on collision, I do favor Cyan. Like, Cyan, these Dragoons are very robust. He now has a lot of Zealots to buffer for the Dragoons as well. Ooh, as Stalkers, they barely blink away. And this is where Goblin's strength lies. He picks off 1 Dragoon, picks off 1 Zealot. Oh, we'll lose 1 Stalker himself. Catching out 3 more Zealots, though. Again, Goblin is able to kite well. As he's racing back home. Warping in more Stalkers. And I believe only bleeds out 1 Stalker? Yeah, only 1. Jesus, 1 Stalker for 8 Zealots and 1 Dragoon. Stalkers are low, but very nice trades by Goblin nonetheless. Getting his third up and running, switching into his own charge lots. Reaver production has begun. Reaver is coming once again. Goblin being very active here, giving Cyan very little room to breathe. Yeah, very little room. So here comes extra warp-ins. Goblin claiming his 4th. And once again poking forward. Again, we're still buying time for disruptor production. Again, this is what Jeshi failed to accomplish here, was transition into disruptors, which I feel like would be quite superior here. We need those Nevas. Second River as well. Again, both players are taking up. Goblin again with a faster 4th base. Going for a hybrid expansion. Oh. Does land that revelation. And we'll see if Goblin can bypass that army. Yeah, he does rotate, but the Observer does spot this rotation. Ooh, does get the Reaver. Yeah, one Reaver goes down. Massive pickoff. Goblin does pull away. Yeah, pulls away. Zealots shuffle in. Initially better traded with Goblin. Does pick up all the Zealots. Now getting in trouble with the Dragoons. Yeah, Dragoons are going to start going down. Heavy losses here for Cyan. Aye, aye, aye. Reaver does move in. The Reaver. No. Gets focused down. The shot does land. Oh my god. Yeah, massive shot, but it may not matter here. Batteries out of energy. Dragoon's being focused down. Catching another Dragoon. And Goblin trades well. Goblin trades well. Is able to reset the Reaver count. Behind this, massing up more gateway units. Unfortunately, there was no reinforcing pylon or war prism. So reinforcements are much more delayed here for Goblin. But here come those disruptors. They're coming. The Novas, pappy. And the issue here with Disruptor versus Brutal Protoss is that unlike in SE2, typically how do you counter Disruptors? I mean, there are a couple of different ways. One is counter Blink Micro, where you can blink away and avoid the shots, or you can live with Phoenixes. Meanwhile, Brutal Protoss have less ways to deal with that, of course. They have to just tank the shots. Once again, another Reaver goes down. And you can see the Cyan is just running out of steam. He's running out of army, bleeding out far too much, down to only 3 Dragoons. There's no backbone to the army, pappy. And again, we're waiting for the move outs. Show us the Novas. Por favor. For now, still just building up that disruptor count. Getting up to 3. We have been missing warp ins, but there we go. Warping in more zealots. Moving out. Disruptors have now been activated. And is Goblin just going to clean sweep? Like, I mean... Este Goblin. Oh, uThermal is out here like, yo, I wanted to play. What's going on? There's just too much freedom. Too much. Oh my god. Your Reaver shot's going to be going up. Last bit towards the end. Yeah, the Gateway Army is going to be going down, and Novas, they will zone more or less. Yeah, they zone the army. Some messy connections. Goblin going to be forced back. Yeah, messy engaged out of Goblin, but again, he's still out trading. Losing one disruptor. Where's the detection here? The Observer's not with the main army. There are DTs in the mix. I don't even know if he... Okay, I was about to say, like, did Goblin even notice that there are Dark Templar? It looks like he did. Of course, Goblin has Revelation. Now more Observers. Oh my god. There are 3 Reavers full of Scarabs. But they're going to be focused down. God, there are so many shots going off there. Oh my god. The Reaver shots. The splits as well. Oh my god. It never goes off, catching us some Dark Templar. Better fight here for Cyan. Goblin, he just took so many Scarab shots to the face. This is getting out of hand. The Reavers, pappy. They punished. So the first good fight in a long time here for Cyan. Punishes Goblin. I'm sure the temptation is there to go into a star. I mean, he already has a Stargate to make a couple of Phoenixes. It may be wiser, just because of how much value these Reavers have, to invest in a handful of Phoenixes just to lift. But we're going to try to brute force it. I mean, the army deficit or the army disparity might be enough for Goblin to just overwhelm anyway. Maybe. It's going to be careful though. Jesus. As we built up to 5 Reavers. That was going to be going up. And we have the Scarab shots. There's Revelation. Here come the Novas. Oh no! Oh my god, massive connections. Every Reaver goes down. And wow, we've done it. We've done it at this point. That was the one thing holding him back. There are some Dark Templar, of course, but there's the Observer. There's Detection. Mass Revelation. Sign he wasn't looking, but the pants were down. The pants were down. Every Reaver goes down. The Disruptor, the superior unit. True. The neighbors, pappy. They catch him out. As Goblin is maxed. And now there's so much less to worry about. Whew. Stage trap going off, catching us some Dragoons. At the same time, they'll run by here towards the hybrid gold base. So we're attempting to mix in some Archons. Ooh, came with the production. Catching out more Reavers. That was going to be going up. Ooh, catching out the Archon and some Dark Templar as well. Yeah, it does overshoot. But there's Revelation. Oof. Once again, Nervous here on the retreat. Catching out more Dragoons. And again, these are losses the Sign just can't afford. He just cannot afford this. His swords out across the map. GG gets called, and Goblin, he will take a 3-0 lead for Team Red, White, and Blue. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Goblin, he will extend the lead for himself, for his team, and solito, baby. Can he do it on his own? Can he do it by himself? Again, the old men are struggling here, and we are alternating, so regardless of who's sent next, Goblin will play as Broodwar. True, he'll play as Broodwar Protoss, so Goblin should be a little bit weaker in that next game. But who do we believe in? Who do we trust to bring him back? I said it before, Cyan is the ace player. He makes the most sense in my mind for this to be a rematch between Goblin and Cyan. With now Cyan playing SC2 Protoss. But we'll see, the pressure is on. Pressure is on. Remember, there's the best of 7. Best of 7, first to 4 will win. And up next, no surprises here, it is going to be the revive of Cyan. So the way this works is that you have 3 players. Best of 7 means you get 1 revive. 1 revive. Revive is now spent, and Cyan is brought back. Cyan has been brought back here, but he now gets to play SC2 Protoss. And we're going to be loading into match points. I mean, very fitting. Very, very fitting here. We're loading into match points. As here we go, spawning in the top right corner of match points, we have the Broodwar Protoss player. We have the Croatian Protoss representing his team, and so far on a massive win streak as well. One more game to claim this series, representing Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Goblin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss, down heavily in the series. He's the last player left on his team. It's on him to bring it back, to bring back that comeback, to make a series out of this. Representing Team Old Men, it is Cyan. The old man. Let's go. We're on match point. And we're on match point. True. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. As Goblin does poke in. Yeah, he does poke in. Behind this, we do have our, so far, our standard openers. We see Goblin actually going for a Nexus first. Okay, so greedier build out of Goblin. Does go Nexus into Gateway. Meanwhile, welcome to Match Point. Match Point is, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, as I do see some of the map makers in the chat. This is the first time that I'm casting on Match Point. I would imagine this was made quite some time ago and now is being reused, or is this a newer map that was recently ported? I cannot say for certain, but I believe it's the first time that I'm casting on Match Point. But I do recall seeing some Brood War games on this map before. Like the layout is very Brood War, very Brood War. Let's go. Regardless, we're going to be opening up here. Coming into the map itself, we do see a bit of a more accessible natural base here. Not the chokiest of entrances, and likewise no point of elevation, but we do have a ramp here on the right hand side to try to make a stand. Likewise, you can expand it linearly here vertically towards the corner of the map. You have your initially safer 3 bases. The 4th base is very exposed. Oh my god. It was literally the last map I ever made for SEVO. It's over a year old, but never used. Okay. Well, I mean, it's great to see it being used here. Great to see it being used. Again, it is a very, very brutal in the sense that you have your initially 3 bases, but the 4th base is insanely far away. So the idea of building up into the mid game and mid to late game looks very difficult on match point. Likewise, short rush distance by ground. Okay. Short rush distance by ground, so aggression is favored on this map quite heavily. Who's going to be the aggressor as Cyan does open up Robo? So Robo opener here by Cyan. With this, we can go into earlier Immortal production, into an earlier Immortal push. We can go into early Prism for early Adept Harass with that War Prism as well. Cyan does have some options to be active early on and to build up that robust Immortal-based army. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have initially a 2-gate follow-up here after the Nexus first, opening up Dragoon. Goblin has scouted across the map, has found his opponents, has yet to confirm the tech though. Zella does waddle in with purpose, map with purpose. Quite a famous map. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've seen some Brood War games on Matchpoint before. Like again, this 2 and 3 base setup looks very familiar to me. But it might just be like a common like trope or a common thing in Brood War maps. Dragoon does poke in. And Dragoons they poke in. Going to be nibbling here at the front door. Now, I assumed that it was going to be War Prism first to harass, but no, it's going to be Immortal first. So early and heavy Immortal production here by Cyan. Building up the Immortal counts. It does catch out. Oh, does try to catch the Dragoons, but they do manage to slip away. Matchpoint's got a very unique layout, very recognizable. Oh, there you go. There you go. Does slip away at the same time. 2 adepts to get into the mineral line and catching out 1 probe. Just the one so far. Ooh, does not wall off in time, but doesn't matter. Goblin just shuts them down. Both adepts do fall. Behind this, going for his own Robo into, I would imagine, his own bait, into his own Reaver production. So we're going to have Reavers against Immortals. But again, Cyan is faster to tech up in that way. Cyan has control of the high ground. He gets force field. Can they lure him in? Catching out 1. Yeah, catching out 1 Dragoon. Dragoons are so thick. Oh my god. It's hard to catch him. So catching out 1. Behind this, without taking up a little bit further in a couple of different directions here. Reaver production and Zealot legs as well. Goblin gearing up towards the mid game. Again, a lot of resources on tech. The Bay, Observatory, Citadel of Atune, Shuttle Speed, and pushing through the center. Oh. Let's try to pick in. Nice control here by Goblin. Remember, the Dragoons, they do outrange. Catching out a Stalker. There is no blink. Triggering their shields. And containing Cyan. I say containing. Cyan does successfully take a 3rd base. This is one of the other features of this map, is that the main attack path actually doesn't allow the aggressing player to threaten the 3rd. So it can still get up quite safely. Goblin dropping into the main base, going for his Dragoon drop. At the same time, Cyan committing a little bit harder, going for the force fields. Ooh, he's going with the sentries. This does have potential. And moving into the main at the same time, adapts here towards the natural. Does start to elevate her in. Army does respond. Goblin is ready here in the main. He's ready in the main base. Reaver shot goes off. Does connect. Takes out 1 of the sentries. And does get 1 sentry at the same time. Mass shade into the mineral line. Yeah, probe's going to be going down. At the same time, Goblin jumps into the main base as well. Going to be deflected. Going to be denied. So we're getting up to 9 probe kills. Yeah, 9, 10 probes going down. Nice damage. Shading into the main base. Should kill. Oh, actually, no! Commits to the shade. Still kills probes, though. Still tries to. There you go. 13, 14 probes going to be going down. Getting it to 15 at the same time. Oh, Shuttle does get it. Does barely get away. Still trades well. The Immortals, they hold their own. They hold their own back. 15 probe kills, and Goblin has late third. Yeah, late third expansion. Sand shooting into the mineral line. Oof. This time it's shut down. It's going to be shut down. Sand pulling back. Pulls back the main army. Now going for the immortal drop into the mineral line. Might get some damage here. Go 2, 3. 2 pro kills. Once again, just distracting. Has to be very careful though. Has to respect those dragoons. And it does have to respect that. We're switching into a Stargate. Huh. Oh my god. As the models, they do trade well, and it looks like Goblin might just... I mean, this is maybe just his answer here for the Prism. Most likely won't commit too hard. No shot, he plans on switching the Sky Toss into carrier production. No shot. Oh my god. As the shuttle is exposed, it's going to be shut down. Does drop the Reavers though. Okay. Yeah, Reavers get dropped off. Goblin is pushing through. Okay, that could have been disastrous. Oh no. That could have been game, Bappy. As they're both running into each other, getting a little bit messy here. Now we're up to 4 immortals. We're tanking shots. Oh, 1 immortal goes down. Gets 1, gets 2. Takes some 2 immortals at the same time. Reaver also falls, and Goblin, he's running out of army here. He's running out of reinforcements. Pulling back. Cyan does gain map control. Behind this, it is just going to be for the scouts. Again, this should just be for anti-air to shut down the Prism. Scout is coming. Prism has been annoying. Saying, oh, the disruptors are coming. Let's go. The bay is on the way. It took a while, but working towards those disruptors. Oof. Catching up the scouts. Bling into the main. Army has to respond. And we can place them down. Oh my god, massive scarab shots, but despite that, Reavers, they still do fall. Oh my god. Catching out one of the Reavers. Yeah, Cyan, he bleeds out a lot of Stalkers here. Wasn't quite worth it. Does we go probes. At the same time, this is really a distraction. Two adepts, they get 10 probe kills across the map. But this time, nice target firing. I say this time, Jeshi did struggle with this, but Cyan, he's all over it. He's all over it. 12 probe kills. Crippling the economy. Cyan up to 75 workers. Still has yet to saturate his 4th base, but he's getting there. 4th base is almost done. Digital production is well underway. Getting 2 upgrades. Supplies are close, but Cyan will soon have a power spike here, with those disruptors and with the upgrades as well. Bearing in mind, the Goblin has no forge. Or I should say, he has a forge, but no upgrades whatsoever. No upgrades. He's on 0-0. He's going to be outscaled over time. Jesus, he has so many Reavers there. It may not matter. Oh my god. It may not matter. He's got all the Reavers. Trying to, at least. Once again, Zelsa hit the mineral line. Once again, this was just a distraction. Distracting Goblin. Pulling away his attention and delaying any kind of mining here at the 3rd. Now the Scarabs are stuck behind the Zealots. They can't get... Oh, there we go. For those that are curious, the Scarab Shots do have collision. So, they do lock on, but they gotta sit by. They gotta sit by. Gotta leave him some room. Make room. Make room. Once again, Cyan, he's just perfecting his army, building further up. We did see that last game it was Goblin that was able to dominate with those disruptors, but now Cyan, he gets to play with his balls, Pappy. True, true. The disruptors are coming. It's his turn. Second Stargate? I'm still on the fence about this. It's a big commitment to go into double Stargate play. As the model gets shut down. You know, Cyan going for his own, but this makes a little bit, I mean, he has more freedom to do so. The difference is that Cyan has 92 probes. That's crazy. That's insane. Cyan, calm down. Don't need that many. Oof. Now Zelsa once again into the mineral line. 6 more probes going to be going down. So as they continue. Blink back into the main base. Golden having a hard time keeping up. Does have some units in position though. Oh, doesn't connect. How many Reavers? 9. Oh my, 9 Reavers. That's crazy. I would imagine these Stargates are going to be for Phoenixes, right? I would imagine. We theorized in the last game when Goblin was playing SC2 Protoss that Phoenixes would do well to likewise lift up Reavers. Goblin is going for carriers. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Tribunal as well. My apologies. No, actually, we're both taking to the skies. Okay. Sky shots from both players. So we'll make a shutdown. Nova's they zone away the army. So far, mainly zoning. As we're shot coming from behind. Oh, the Reaver drops! Oh my god! Diving in the army. They're gonna be focused down. Oh, we're getting messy. We're getting very, very messy here. Novas are not connecting. Stalkers are falling. We have Zealot reinforcements coming in. We go from 9 down to 6 Reavers. But Goblin does take the fight. Does take the fight here again. Very nice flank here with the shuttles. Coming in from behind. He's crazy. Able to give chase. Oh. Yo, shout out to the scouts. He can finally kill the prism. Finally! The prism goes down. And Goldman cleans up the army. Shuts it all down here. Behind this, we can start that carrier production. True. Does he begin? Meanwhile, initially we thought Phoenixes. Then we saw the Fleet Beacon and was like, oh, maybe it's going to be carrier. But no, we are going to Phoenixes. Phoenixes are on the way. Cyan has recognized that the Reavers are becoming an issue. Does need a better answer. This is a common response in regular PvP against disruptors, so it makes sense to attempt that here as well. God, it's a lot of Reavers. We be dropping. Goblin breaks out. They have a, catching out a couple of Zealots. Same time, scouts are harassing on the south side. Scout shots in the middle line. Oh, yeah, we just give chase. We gave chase. The first shuttle does fall. Does focus on the shuttles. Novas don't quite connect here, but Reaver's gonna be on the. Oh my god, the Scarab shots. They're crazy. They're still insane. And Goblin, he will still win this fight. The Reaver is on their own. They kill everything. They blow it all up. You have more warpins. Oh my god! The Reavers, they can't be stopped, Pappy. They cannot be. They are running out of Scarabs. True, gotta be careful. We don't want to waste Scarab shots here on the building as they are being spent. The Arbiter has arrived, coming in to support. It does come in. Third base goes down. Goblin is aware of top left, thankfully, so he does rotate over. These Reavers are very exposed though. Remember, there's no more shuttles. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're coming. Moving in. It has been months, if not a year, since I've seen an Arbiter. Like, I still think of the game that Rebellion was able to go mass Arbiter. I think it was Rebellion versus Whole Mono. I want to say this would have been like maybe like mid to early 2025. Oh, but not again. So nervous. Disruptors are coming from behind, and once again we catch out every single Reaver. It happened. Goblin pulled it off against Cyan. Now Cyan against Goblin as well. Cashing out every single Reaver. Ay, ay, ay. Goblin gets caught out. The Disruptors, they come out on top, Bappy. Come out on top. The shuttles were just a little bit too late, and Cyan, he will save his base. He'll save top left. Saves the expansion. Goblin from 9, he gets knocked down to 1 Reaver. Oof. Down on Reavers. Cyan is counterattacking. Time is of the essence. Goblin needs more time. Probes getting caught out. Reaver's not coming in. And Reavers that come in. Oh. 21 probes going to be going down. Last scrap shots here on the Disruptors. Oh. Jeez, 32 workers. Yeah, critical damage here as Goblin's economy is not crippled. He's down to 36 workers, 36 probes. Down to a mineral line, down to a base. Reavers that do punish. But now we have Tempest on the way. Let's go. Yeah, Tempers are coming. More Reavers will win this fight. Goblin does hold, but he needs more than that. Oh, and the mineral line is looking very, very oversaturated. Oh, God. The mineral line's oversaturated. Massive damage here. 24 probes. 25. Again, I think what I appreciate about Match Point is that because it's so vertical, it's the distance between these bases is so short. There's just almost non-stop, or there has been almost non-stop action here between the two teams, between the two players. Catching at the mineral line, pulling back. Behind this, Tempest are massing. Because of that short rush distance by air and ground, I mean, Tempest, they can hit these bases very quickly as well. Sand is coming. So we do get some massive harass here on the top side. 11 probe kills. 11 probes going down. Oof. Sand moves in. Massive Novas. Novas are connecting. But there's no more Novas. Just a Tempest. Ooh. Oh my. The stasis. Shout out to the Arbiter catching out the Disruptors. But that was after the shots going off. True. Was a little bit late. We're building up to 7 Tempest. Critical mass. And what's the answer here? We're just trying to build up more Dragoons. Tempest, they hit the 4th base. Again, this 4th base is so isolated. And now the Nexus falls. 17 probe kills. Goblin still has a threatening army, but it's very Reaver heavy, of course. How many Dragoons? 11. 11 Dragoons. Reavers are coming in. A massive stasis here on the Tempest. Very nice. The stasis lands. Tempest, they go down. Goblin's holding on at the same time. 26 probe kills. Still losing more workers. Oh no. But again, a very nice catch here by Goblin. Camping the army. Remember, there is no recall. Ooh. Catching at the Disruptors. Does try to recall through. SC Protoss does recall away. I was Brood War minded. Saves 2 Tempest. Saves the 2. Goblin fighting back. Now, bearing in mind that the Arbiters now have limited energy here, we do have a stasis trap on, sorry, stasis field on one of the Arbiters, not quite on the other. Bear that in mind. So currently 1 stasis field. Sand trying to move in. We'll lose the base. We'll lose the mineral line. Building back up to 6 Tempests. I mean, gee, we still have a very high Tempest count here. At this point, we're heavily reliant on those stasis fields to try to cut the army in half. We don't want to waste them. Oh, no! Oh, the Arbiter gets low. Yeah, the Arbiter getting very low. Now Cyan is aware to you know, take it as a threat. To take the Arbiter seriously. The Arbiter moves in. Oh no! Ooh, does lay the stasis just barely. Yeah, lands the stasis with that. The Archons go down, and Goblin can now camp the Tempest. He can camp them. Nice catch. Catching out 1, catching out 2 more Tempest. Ah, that's what 4 Tempests for free, baby. For free. Oh, I say that's way too soon. Yeah, way too soon. Dragoons are a little bit out of position. Looks like 2 Tempests barely get away. Goblin was distracted. Cyan pulls out. And I'm impressed here that Goblin's been able to sustain himself, but the reality is that the lack of economy is killing him. Goblin, he is down to 27 workers. He's mined out of the natural. He's mined out of the main base. The third base is mining out. There's 1 patch left. I can say the same about Cyan, though. To be fair, like, both players have a very low economy. But Cyan has a full mining base. That's the difference here. Cyan, he's on 1 full mining base. Goblin has nothing. Goblin has no mining. Oof. Goblin is broke. No. He's been fighting well. He's been fighting very, very well. But he's broke, Bappy. He's racing back over to get some mining going. Oof, the Nexus may even go down. It's getting low. Oof. And the issue here, funnily enough, is that, remember, Scarabs, they cost money. Like, they cost resources. We can't waste those shots anymore. There's a recall. Ooh. Yeah, the army does recall. There is still that 1 Arbiter. Once again, we are heavily reliant on the Arbiter here to take a fight. Especially because, I'll be honest, I don't know how many Scarabs there are. Oh, no, we can see 14. Okay, let's go. 14 Scarabs. Long distance mining. Split between 3 Reavers. Let's catch some transferring workers. But again, this bottom base is still fully mining for Cyan. This is what matters most here. Yeah, this is the only miner the Goblin has. No! The Zealot. Yeah, and because this is just taking too long for Goblin to really build up. Cyan, he's able to retain his army, build back up, warping in more Zealots, warping in more Void Rays. Cyan is just being able to outscale Goblin and out macro. Somehow, some way, Cyan never lost this expansion. He did lose this mineral line that one time, if you recall, but never lost the Nexus. Never lost the base. Uh-oh. And again, I don't want to say that Goblin's out of this, because there is a world where if he can land a very juicy stasis and cut the army in half, then he can still maybe take a fight here. Yeah, Reavers are unload. I catch on one of the Archons. Novas don't quite connect. That was still, what, 2 Dragoons? 1. That was still 1 Dragoon going down. Goblin, he has no gas income. Oof. Yeah, he's only making Zealots. He has no gas. Just hit the mineral line. Again, every shot here, it's costing money. Nice connections. 9 probes. 9 probes go down. Reavers are no longer with the main army. Oof. True. Yeah, there's no Reavers to defend. The Reavers are racing back home. The Dragoons are getting caught out. Goblin, he split up his own army. And he's being punished. He's being punished for it. Yeah, massive connections. Novas, they connect. Already gets caught out. Lands stasis, but not good enough. And with that, Cyan, he's done it. He has caught the main army and caught the mineral line as well. GG gets caught, and Cyan, he will begin the comeback. GG. Whew. GG, well played with that Cyan. He will claim, he will fight back. He'll put a point on the board. He fights back for the old men. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Whew, a very intense back and forth. Very, very intense back and forth. Despite the size of the map, despite the rush distance by ground, we got to embrace the mid to late game as well. Both players fighting hard for their 4th bases, for their 5th bases as well. We got to see a lot of mid game play, incorporating our Reavers, Disruptors. We even got into the late game, which is very rare in StarCraft Evolution. Very, very rare to see late game between the two players, or attempted late game, I should say. But GG, well played. Congratulations here. Cyan does fight back. Goblin, he was close here to pulling off the all kill. Not quite though, just barely not able to pull it off. GG, and with that, we're now getting into our next game. Gonna be loading into Blackrock. Okay, Blackrock is up next. Meanwhile, Team Red, White, and Blue, they've lost their first player. They still got their full roster available to them. They got Blast, they got uThermal, they have Vaeda, and looks like we have confirmation. It is going to be Vaeda as our next player. Another PvP. PvPs, they continue, back. They continue. Let's go. To continue. Just catching up. What a game. That was crazy. Yo, meanwhile, big shout out to Hyper1 for gifting some subs to the community, to Avex, to Scarlet Shadow, to SJS, Spectre, Lilypad, and Delphinic Star as well. Gracias, Pepe, gracias. Oh. But that was maybe the best game of StarCraft Evolution of the year. Like, I'll be honest. Ay. But here we go, spawning in the bottom hand corner of Blackrock. We have the red Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss from the land of the Netherlands, leading the series 3-1, repping Team Red, White, and Blue. It is Vaeda. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have their opponents. So we have her opponent, we have the blue Protoss player, the Chinese Protoss, representing the old men, has begun that comeback. Is Cyan. Can he pull off? Can he bring us to the ace match? Can we go the distance? Can we go all the way? As well to Blackrock, as we do move out across the map with our 2 workers here. Again, we've been casting a lot of 4-player spawn maps. Now finally back to 2-player spawns. Something more modern here is Blackrock. Let's go. Our workers do move out. They will scout across each other, across the map. Behind this is going to be Nexus after the gateway. So gate expand out of Cyan. Meanwhile, Vaeda looking to do the same. Also going gate expand as well. Mirrored builds so far. Mirrored builds, greedier openers. Vamonos. That's probably the longest game I've ever seen. Well, I say this year just because we have experienced. I feel like we would often see, late game on like the island maps, for example. I want to say there's a couple of examples of TVT late game that we experienced between like Kiwian and like trying to think. I want to say like Kiwian and Beyond, or like Kiwian and Tasia. But again, this was like last year. Like we saw some late game TVT. There was that one ZVZ that still lives rent-free in my mind, which was Dark versus Shin, where Dark went into Mass Guardian. True. But they're fewer and farther between. I'm also a little bit concerned. I say concerned. Again, it was a really solid game. It's a little bit disappointing to hear that apparently Match Point has been done for a while and wasn't used. I'm hoping that there aren't many more maps like that, in the sense that there are like these maps that have been ported over for StarCraft Evolution but were never made. Just because recently Hyper1, he was talking in his recent post about how like, oh, he has no time to like, the map pool has been stale for a long time and hasn't had time to port new maps. But if there are new maps that are like available that just have not been used, then I feel like I mean, Especially if we're not making any new ones right now, then it'd be nice to use them, you know? It would make sense. So I appreciate that Crank has Crank stepped in and was able to utilize Match Point here for the map pool. I would hope that there aren't many more maps that are like left on the cutting room floor or just were made, were ported, but not utilized. If we're in a situation where the SC Evo map pool is getting stale, but there are maps available, then it'd be nice to use them. I feel like we're just talking about like the TLMC at this point, like really. How often? Oh my god, as Vader he gets into the main, does go to the pylon, but often we say something similar where it's like, you know, it'd be nice if like Blizzard, like we have all these maps that were made but never used, that we can make use of them, right? And we speak about that a lot with Blizzard, with TLMC. Similarly here, I guess, with StarCraft Evolution, where like if there are maps available, then it would make sense to incorporate them if they're there, right? Especially if the map pool is getting stale. Meanwhile, the pylons are getting into the main base. With this, we will open 2 adepts into the main. Set adepts can start to one-shot workers, and there we go. Probes are going to be going down at the same time. Sand does move in. Sand does look to move in. Going to be distracted. We'll be pulling away. Meanwhile, it's going to be 6 probes going down. Ay, ay, ay. I say 6, 7. 7 probe kills in the main. Very nice damage here by Vaeda. At the same time, Sand, he pulls all the way back home. He fails to break that natural base. Vaeda defends and attacks, and is still not done. Oh my god, shades into the natural. This is getting out of hand here. 9 probe kills. Can we get 10? Oh, we barely don't. That was on A move. On A move towards the end here. 9 probe kills. Pylon gets found. Pylon's going to be shut down. Sign will clean up. And with that, Cyan will move out. So Cyan, he will clean this up, but again, some rough losses here for Cyan. Does push across the map, Vaeda claiming a 3rd base, and behind this we've been taking up in towards Blink. Blink is still on the horizon, and I will say that when it comes to the main army, Cyan still has a very strong force. Oh my god! That's a lot of Dragoons! We're pretty reliant on force fields here. Reliant on force fields, Cyan does rotate around, does not go through the choke point. Does bypass the main choke point, moving in. Okay, we have 10 Dragoons against 5 Stalkers, and we force field them in. It doesn't matter. Yeah, the army does try to engage anyway, catching out 2 sentries. Boys are being pulled. Desperation here from Vaeda. Desperation. Yeah, there's no robo, no mortar production. We need more Stalkers. No batteries to defend either. Ooh, no batteries in position. Oof. And despite the Adepts doing so much across the map, these Dragoons, they deal almost equivalent damage. As that is going to be 9 probes going down alongside the sentries, alongside the Stalkers. So Sand does fight back, and we'll come across the 3rd. He does break through. Def overworked and pulled in a lot of directions. I think one map might not have been the priority. Yeah, that's why I say as well, that like I don't know if there are other maps like Match Point that were like left on the cutting room floor. If not, then you know my comment has less weight and less value, of course. That was only if there were like, I don't know, other maps were left unused. If not, then they're not, of course. And Cyan does move in. Yeah, Cyan moves in. Again, Force Field will be zoning back the main armies. I'll say trade well, just locking down that Immortal. Oh my god. Immortal's going to be locked down. Cyan does get free damage here in the mineral line. Robo's depowered as well. There was some harass across the map, but Elastic gets cleaned up. And Vaeda is struggling, losing the 3rd expansion, losing the mineral line as well, down to 35 workers. Robo's still depowered. We're getting messy. Getting very, very messy here, and Cyan is getting further ahead of a base, up a mineral line. We have glaives on the way. It looks like a glaive adept immortal based all in, but it is delayed. It is delayed. Cyan does move in. Yeah, once again, he's able to hit the mineral line. Robo's exposed. Unfortunate placement of the Robo as well, considering the current game state. As also do catch out the sentry. Robo depowered once again. At the same time, we do get more adepts into the main. I mean, the adept harass has been solid. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. As adepts, they find more damage. Dragoons, they pick in. Oh, the target firing. Cyan. There you go, nice pickups. 14 probes going to be going down. Cyan, he just bypasses the main army, just going for another counterattack. Actually, no, never mind, we turn around. Turns around to take the fight, to catch up the main army. Feel like there was potential for more harass. And the comeback is continuing. Again, it's been a rough start for the old men, but alas, we are bringing it back. Cyan moving in. Pushing into the mineral lines, catching more probes. Force field, no, it's not going to be enough to stop. Yeah, another force field being spent. And this time the natural will fall. It will go down. We have the one stalker harassed. No. The one stalker doing what it can. GG gets called, and Cyan, the comeback continues, putting another point on the board for Team Old Men. GG. GG, well played. Cyan, he does fight back even further here, and with this, we are one game away from match point. Can we keep this going as Team Red, White, and Blue? They're down to their last player here. Again, they do have a roster of 4, but they only field 3 in a match like this. So do we go for another Protoss? Do we see purely PvPs here tonight? I apologize, we forgot about Kingslayer at the start of the broadcast. But do we see another PvP, or do we embrace something a little bit different? Who's going to come out next? Blask or uThermal? Oh boy, here we go. But again, winding it back when it comes to this game itself, Vaeda did amazing when it comes to harassing. The adept harass was on point time and time again, but unfortunately maybe just tunnel visioning a little bit too much because our further tech was delayed, whether it was Blink, whether it was Immortal production as well. The main army was lacking, there was no safety batteries at the natural either, so Vaeda was very exposed, very vulnerable, was not quite ready or expecting a committed counterattack. And these counterattacks, they hit very, very hard every single time. Vaeda was underprepared back at home and was often overwhelmed. GG well played. With that, we're getting into our next game, and we have the answer to our question here. Here we go. It is going to be a Terran versus a Protoss matchup. Oh boy, we do have our next player rising up here. It is going to be uThermal playing Terran. Okay, so it's going to be another TVP here between Team Red, White, and Blue and the Old Men. uThermal, he's a lot more experienced in the Brood War side of things, and I'm curious to see if he has been playing much recently. I know he was very, very fond of like 3-rack stim timings, was very much so embracing that quite heavily. That trend might continue here as well. We're loading into Sylphid. Let's go. We're getting into Sylphid. And spawning in the top right hand corner, sorry, top side is Sylphid. We have the Brood War Terran player, the Red Terran from the land of the Netherlands, representing Team Red, White, and Blue. He's full of freedom. It is uThermal. And one game away from claiming this series. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the Chinese Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss representing the Old Men. He's been pulling his weight, of course. He's trying to fight back for his team. He is the last player standing, the last old man standing, if you will. It is Cyan. Let's go. Let us go. Welcome on all to Sylphid. Sylphid has been around for a very long time. It's been around for a long time. I mean, it's a solid map. 3-player spawn map, bottom right, bottom left, and top side as well. 3 possible spawn locations. So there's a little bit of RNG when it comes to looking and finding your opponents and getting into your initial build. We'll see how we open up as uThermal does open up with the CC first. Okay. CC first here. Hold on, can we fix up the name? Oh, let's go. We could team red, white, and blue. True. Un momento. There we go. He's also the patch abuser as well. True. Can confirm. Yeah. As again, we spoke about this earlier, but we've been seeing it very commonly. If uThermal, even despite the patches, despite the hot fixes, 3-rack stim timings has been uThermal's go-to for since almost like the inception of StarCraft Evolution. Like it's and to be fair, like there was a time where this was all the craze in the meta. I feel like nowadays this has died down a little bit, but I can't really speak with too much authority on that just because we have not been covering like the Ladder Invitational or the most recent SEL Masters. So I imagine this build is still prevalent, but maybe a little bit less so than previously. I would hope that build diversity has been able to increase when it comes to Terran matchups, and we don't get to see purely 3-rack stim anywhere near as much, but I believe it's still very much so like a thing. It's still viable, of course, and we're seeing it here from uThermal. Does scout bottom left. Doesn't quite find Cyan. Basically, we're going to be hitting here with stim. Academy is now done, and we can now start said stim, and likewise medic production as well. The reason why this hits so hard compared to SC2 is because the Academy does unlock medic production, so you don't need a starport to support your Marine force. You can just make medics straight out of the racks after the Academy is done. So just building up a massive amount of Marines, moving out across the map for that sim timing. Meanwhile, we do see Cyan back at home going for his own opener as well, going for a robo opener. Ooh, I do like this. Looking to hard counter 3-rack stim. Checking the vision, Cyan did not scout. Cyan is not fully aware, but if we can make the guess that uThermal does nothing but 3-rack stim, then Cyan can make that assumption as well, and I would imagine that we go straight into a faster Bay and a faster Colossus production. If that's the case though, will it be up in time? There it is. If you remember, Robo into Bay into Colossus used to be the meta back in the day a couple of years ago. I want to say around, the scan, but around 2021 when 3-rack stim was all the craze. I'm thinking back on Side Delta, like back in the day, back during that meta in regular SE2. That is when Robo Colossus openers were much more common in that era to shut down these 3-rack stim timings. Like once a Colossus pops out, it's like these Marines, they lose a lot of their strength. Lose a lot of that strength. As it ups a shade into the main. Pulling over that back. Catching out 1, 2, 3 ACVs. 3? Not quite. Just 2 so far. Ooh, and Marines, they catch out the Adepts. Very nice. Now, who hits first? Colossus production has begun. We have 1 Colossus on the way to being chronoed as we speak. Meanwhile, we do see uThermal. He commits. He's moving out. Does get spotted by the Observer. More Marines are rallying. Sentries are ready for force fields. Cyan should hold. Cyan should hold on. Now, bearing in mind, this is not an all-in. It's not an all-in here, so we do see uThermal transitioning already. Factories on the way, getting into UT3HLs. There's that scan. Spots the sentries. uThermal sims in. Oh my god, he's crazy. Does try to sim forward, but we do have that force field. We have another force field available, and another force field with the sentry. The Colossus will pop out. Marines, they do knock down that front door, though. Ooh, it doesn't get in. Yeah, it doesn't get in. There's that second force field. Marines, they force to focus on the gateway instead. And this buys just enough time for the Colossus. Ooh, yeah, we do stim in. Going for the sentries. Colossus will just annihilate this army. Oh my god, all the Marines go down. The medic as well. Do we get any probes for our troubles here? Just 1 probe kill so far. Stims further in, gets a full scouts. I might get 1 more. There we go. 1 more probe. 2 more probes. Okay. So 3 probes in total. Again, some damage. But Cyan holds, and Cyan now has the power spike himself. So building up to a 2nd Colossus. You see uThermal switching into tank production. Tanks are on the way. Oh, and Cyan just instantly counterattacking. This is a little bit risky, but I do favor this for Cyan. Do we have any tanks? There's one tank back at home to defend. One tank, one bunker. uThermal, he will bypass the main army. And Cyan, can he break through? Oh, tank shot goes off. That does scare Cyan back. Cyan does pull away for a moment. uThermal coming in from behind and goes straight for the mineral line. Uh-oh. I don't know what that upgrade is. I've not seen that image before. But here we go. Marines, they slip into the mineral line as 6 probes going to be going down at the same time. Cyan does drop into the main, going for the Colossus drop. But the Wraith has arrived. No anti-air to defend the Prism. Ooh, and this is critical damage here. The Marines, they slip in. That's going to be 15, 16 probe kills. Oh my god. Yeah, Cyan not taking this seriously enough. There's a recall back home. He recalls to the main base. That's 20 probes going down. That is insane damage. And that damage was insane. Back at home, uThermal, he defended well. Polar reactor. Okay, there we go. I say that because a bunch of new art was made for a bunch of upgrades, and there's some of them that I have not experienced yet. But always great to see some of the new art. uThermal does set up in the center. Catching at the main army. Massive tank shot going off. And massive tank shot. So we're moving in. Oh, yeah, he's within range. Massive shots here. Oh, connecting with the sentries. One sentry goes down. And Race, they have another purpose here. They do well zoning back the Colossus. The brutal Vikings, pappy. Let's go. Yeah, they handle themselves well. They're pushing further forward. Within range of the Nexus. That brutal positioning here. Stalkers, they blink into the tank fire. Oh my god, he blinks in. Stalkers, they just get shut down. Yeah, Stalkers do fall. Colossus trying to break on through, but that's what the Wraiths are for. And Wraiths, they should reset this. They should reset the Colossus count. Getting 1, getting 2 Colossus. Yeah, heavy losses here for Cyan. Cloak is activated. No detection. Free damage. Thankfully, there is a battery at least. But again, Cyan lost all of his power units. Yes, he traded with the tanks, but they're a little more replaceable here for uThermal. Yeah, they're a lot more expendable. Tanks, they move in. They don't even besiege. Another tank coming in from behind. And with that, the third base has been broken. And uThermal, he's doing it. Red, white, and blue, pappy. As uThermal, he's here. He's got the freedom, pappy. Nova goes off, but the last not going to be good enough. Third base does go down. And with that, we're just snowballing our control again. There's that one disruptor still remaining. Has 1 shot left. Never goes off. Does not connect. Gets focused down. And uThermal, he's doing it for himself. He's doing it for his team. Red, white, and blue. Croatia, the Netherlands. True, true. That's what it's known for. It's like yeah, with that again, we're just rallying into our deaths here. Cyan, he fought well for himself. I should also emphasize that Cyan, he was the only player in his team to win games. He stopped Goblin's win streak. Took down Vaeda. But there's only so much you could do alone. GG gets called, and uThermal does claim the series. And with that, Team Red, White, and Blue will qualify for the main event. GG. GG, well played, congratulations uThermal. They will claim the series 4-2 over Team Old Men. The Old Men, maybe a little bit too old. Smooch. Congratulations here to Team Red, White, and Blue, to uThermal, to Blask, to Goblin, and to Vaeda. uThermal did close it out, but honestly, there's a world where Goblin 4-0s. Like straight up, he almost all killed. Which is crazy, by the way. Like again, I don't consider Goblin's brutal Protoss to be too high, but to almost all kill Team Old Men was very impressive. We can actually have a look here. Switching on over to our overall scoreline. Remember, Goblin, he took down Kingslayer, took down Jeshi, as you can see here on my left, took down Cyan initially as well, and that game 4 was the game of the year, like for StarCraft Evolution. Like, that was crazy. Very intense, very back and forth, very high octane as well. Bases going down, mineral lines going down as well, embracing the mid game and even dipping our toes into the late game as well, seeing arbiters pop off with some stasis traps, some key arbiters, some key stasis fields even from Goblin. Likewise, Cyan taking up in towards Tempest production, popping off with his own disruptors as well. We saw the Mass Reaver having its own time in the sun there for Goblin. Was very, very dynamic and could have gone either way, but in the end, Goblin ran out of money. In the end, Goblin, you can look at it one of two ways. Goblin had a hard time expanding and maintaining his bases and building up his economy, or likewise he had a hard time punishing Cyan's bases and punishing Cyan's economy to keep it low like his. Regardless, Cyan had more mining, more economy, was able to overwhelm. Then we had that back and forth. Cyan took down Goblin, Cyan took down Vaeda, and then uThermal did close it out in the end. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations. Whew, and with that, that is our first series wrapping up here of the broadcast. The first series is done. We're going to be coming to a short break. Here. When we come back, we'll have our next series. Up next is going to be another best of 7. Bam, between who exactly? Actually, this won't tell us anything as we don't have our players set up. It is going to be a best of 7 between Stony Balls and Proxy Gates. Oh boy, we'll get into it. Stony Balls is a proper team, so you can hazard a guess as to who's a part of that, of course. With Young Yakov, with Nick Ratch, with GgMaChine, with Strange as well. They've got a deep roster. Shameless, of course. We'll get into it. Meanwhile, Proxy Gate is a team that was constructed for this event, and you can hazard a guess as to who's a part of Team Proxy Gate. We'll get there. For now, though, we're going to be coming to a short break. We'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back here to our second series of the broadcast. We're halfway through the CranKy Season 4 Qualifier. We just wrapped up our first qualifying match featuring Team Red, White, and Blue versus the Old Men. And in the end, Red, White, and Blue, they were able to come out on top here. uThermal coming in that final game, of course, to close it out for his team. But Goblin carrying hard throughout the course of that series. So very impressive play there by Team Red, White, and Blue. But now we have our second and final series of the broadcast. Again, there are 4 matches in total, 4 best of 7s. We are cutting the broadcast in half, especially with that first series taking up 2 hours. Like, that's crazy. It's a 2-hour series, Pappy. Oh my god. So we're going to be covering Standing Bulls versus Proxy Gate here, and then we'll be covering the next 2 matches tomorrow. Same time, same place. Oh, let's go. Let us go. For now, though, again, we have Standing Bulls versus Proxy Gate. Standing Bulls is a bigger team here consisting of GgMaChine, Milky Cow, Shameless, Young Yakov, and Zardiant as well. Oh my god. I'm curious if they just partnered with some players or whether they expanded their roster, because Zardiant and Milky Cow were not on the team. Double checking here, and yeah, okay, so Zardiant and Milky Cow, they're not on the team, but they've joined forces for this team league. They have joined the main roster. Meanwhile, Proxy Gate is a team that has been constructed purely for this team league, and it features Nihed, features a Rake, and Ailsop. Interesting. Okay, so 2 Protoss and 1 Zerg here for Team Proxy Gate. Whether they live up to their team name, I hope they do, but again, the pressure is on, as there's 2 Protoss and 1 Zerg, and they're going to be fielding their Zerg player first. Let's go. As we can switch our scenes over and catch up on the series itself, bearing in mind this is best of 7. Best of 7 all kill format. Winner stays on, loser is out. We're going to be alternating between Brood War and SE2, as we are in the Stargate Evolution mod, of course. And our first series, Milky Cow versus Ailsop TVZ, going to be on Polypoid, a map that we have yet to feature in today's broadcast. Let's go. Let us go. I believe Milky Cow is playing SE2 Terran and Ailsop is playing Brood War Zerg. Vamonos. So we are loading into our next game. Here we go. Just catching up with the chat. Oh. As we are jumping into our fresh series here and spawning in the top right hand corner of Polypoid, we have the Red Terran player, the Red Terran player himself. We have the SE2 Terran representing Team Standing Bulls. It is a Milky Cow. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Proxy Gate. It is Ailsop. Let's go. Let us go. We have our best of 7. We have our TVZ. Let's jump in. Welcome to Polypoid. Polypoid, of course, is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, top left, bottom left, and bottom right as well. So 4 possible spawn locations. We can see that Milky Cow is aware of the 2 possible spawn locations on the top side. Ailsop, likewise, he's aware of the bottom 2 spawn locations as well. So we'll see how we open up here as we load into the Polypoid. Vamonos, baby. Vamonos. Yeah. Once again, a map that we haven't really been able to embrace too often as of late. Yeah, it's been a while, I feel like, since Polypoid has been a part of a tournament map rotation. So great to see here, great to see incorporated, of course. Like when I think of, like when I look at Polypoid, like I almost confuse it for Vermeer. Like Vermeer has a very similar like tile set and color scheme, and it is also his 4-player spawn as well. But no, yeah, Polypoid very different, very different when it comes to the map layout itself. I mean, it feels like one of the, yeah, it feels like it's been a while since it's been in a tournament rotation. Actually, it's been a while. For now, though, going to be opening up. CC is a part of the... Wait, what? I was a little bit confused. CC first, but is CC a part of the wall? Interesting here from Milky Cow. Sorry, there we go. Flip the players. So I was a little bit confused. But CC first, it's going to be a little bit delayed as a result, as we have to lift and land it over on location, but we'll also fully wall off early on. Meanwhile, we see Ailsop going for the earlier hatch into an earlier macro hatch as well, as we build up into our own hatch gas pool into the macro hatchery here to build up our larva, to build up into our game. Bearing in mind, of course, Brutal Zerg is very different. There is no queen, or the queen is very different units, so there are no injections, I should say. So building up a higher hatchery count and getting macro hatcheries is a lot more common and standard in Brood War. before from the Brood War side of things. So we are building up extra hatcheries, building up that production, and we'll see how our players will approach each other. Now, when it comes to these two players, Islop is a regular. When it comes to StarCraft Evolution, is one of the stronger Zerg players in the CIS region, actually. I might even say, specifically in SC Evo, Islop might be better than GgMaChine and Young Yakov. I say might be because the reality is both GgMaChine and Young Yakov, they don't really play much SC Evo. They dip their toes in every now and then, but they're not very active players in the SC Evo scene. I feel like Islop is more so. He's more so active, does more so embrace the mod, and is the mod that I see him compete in most compared to some of the other Zergs. So we'll see. Jesus, as Milky goes straight into a 3rd CC, so 3rd CC before Starport, it's going to be a 3cc 2-on-1 variation. Okay, let's go. Greedier, more economic builds. Does have a bit of a power spike a little bit later on. This does hit typically with a medevac timing 16 Marines at around 6 minutes, 6:30 even. So again, it's going to be a later aggression, later map presence, but much greedier build. Faster 3rd base, faster 3 base saturation as well. Extra mules. It's going to be quite a big power spike in the mid game for a Milky Cow. Going to be quite big. Back at home, we do see Islop going for the faster layer. Makes sense. We're going into the faster layer, early Hydra Den here, getting to it early, a Hydra tech setup. We can try to rush into lurkers. I know there was a build that Stu was playing around with quite some time ago by going into like lurker rushes on 2 bases. Otherwise, we could just build up some Ling Hydra tech. We'll see how greedy tech-wise Islop is going to be. Bearing in mind that he's somewhat aware of the build, but he has not scouted the main base, so he's not fully aware of how greedy Milky Cow is being. Also, my apologies. There we go. We'll fix up the player names in-game. My apologies. My apologies. No, este cat. Yeah, I often do forget to fix that up. If I ever have to like make a custom name here, like Proxygate. My apologies. Fixed up though. Fixed up. I'll try to bear that in mind. Really, we should. I mean, look, it's on uThermal, okay? Like, este uThermal. Every season, he always name changes something else. My favorite is still Salsa Tequila. Yo, Salsa Tequila for a while. Oh, as we are rushing into... Okay, so in my mind, I was thinking we might be rushing into Lurker Tech, but no, we're rushing into a Queen's Nest. Okay. So very fast Queen's Nest here from Islop. With this, we can get into our own Queen production, of course, or rush into Hive Tech. Queen's a very different supportive unit here. In Brood War. Meanwhile, Milky Cow building up his army. I should also emphasize, if you remember, I spoke about how this typically hits at around 6 minutes, going for a 3cc 2-on-1. This is a 3cc 3-1-1. This is a much later starport. So this means later starport, later medevacs, later drop play, later pressure, and later presence on the map. But it does mean more marine production, like a heavier bio army is building up, is amassing. It's gonna hit quite hard when Milky Cow does decide to move out. It's gonna hit hard. As we have Ensnare on the way. Again for those queens. Bearing in mind that queens, they can be quite useful, and snare can be quite useful as well, but it's not the same as fungal growth. And snare is a great tool when it comes to slowing down and catching an army, but does no additional damage. Bear that in mind. May come into play. As the timing is upon us here, 1-1, stim, combat shields, third base now being taken. And now with the medevacs arriving, Milky Cow can start to push. You know, start to move out. Now it's going to be a purely queen defense here. Again, we do have Ensnare available here on the queens. Did I say purely queen? Purely Hydra defense, I meant to say. So purely Hydra. Very just mass Hydra here from Islop. We'll have a harder time pushing into siege lines, assuming that Milky Cow pushes. Now that the medevacs are online, we can start to break out. And is going for drop play. Okay. So we can see the Milky Cow is staying more defensive here, setting up a siege line, sensor tower as well. Drop on the left, drop on the right. Distract to the main army, show us that Ensnare. Yeah, the Marines, they should be caught out. Ensnare doesn't quite connect though, and Milky Cow gets away. Ooh, so a bit of a blunder there from Iosop. Did miss that Ensnare, but again, this is a massive army, and Milky Cow, he's moving out across the map with that drop. Back at home, does he have enough to defend? Ooh, does get a queen. Yeah, massive pick off. One queen goes down. Marines able into the mineral line. Drone's going to be falling. Iosop is out of position, and he turns back around. Ay. I assumed that he would commit, but no, he turns around. 9 drone kills. We're still not done. Dropping into the main base. Reinforcements will defend. That's all we needed. We did not need the main army. Yeah, reinforcements, they clean this up. Iosop, yeah, maybe a little bit nervous here, but did overreact. This does give Milky Cow more time to build up his army. Now up to 3 tanks. Securing his 3rd. And Iosop is moving in. Iosop moving in. Pushing into 3 tanks. We'll see if he can. He can just zone this army away. True, there's an opening right here into the 3rd. He's going for it. Yeah, he does move in. Heads towards the 3rd base. Getting on top of the ramp. Damage is being done. Milky Cow's in trouble. He's in trouble, Bap. He tries to stem in. Yeah, let's try to Hydras. They collapse in from behind. Marines are going down, and the tanks are exposed. The tanks are exposed, and all these tanks get surrounded. 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks should fall, and with that, Iosop will overwhelm. He'll overwhelm the main army. He takes on every single tank. Does break on through at the same time. Hydras, they were otherwise cleaned up here at the 3rd, but they break through the main. They break through the natural. We have a couple of Marines left. The boys are being pulled in desperation here, and Iosop with the mass Hydra. It's too much, Bappy. It's too much. Oh my god. Again, unfortunately, this was just such a difficult position to defend just because it's so open, so exposed. With that, Iosop just collapsed in. More boys are being pulled, and with that, Team Proxy Gates will kick things off with a lead, as that is 47 SCV kills. Oof. So we're 52. 55. Oh, we're still going. Can we get 60? 61? Oh my god, 60 SCV kills. Again, Milky Cow, he had a greedier build. He had, of course, his own big power spike as well that it was getting into, but the position here was just too difficult to defend. Too difficult. Again, technically, this is high ground as well, right? So there was that high ground advantage that also, in some way, influenced the fight. Okay, he does survive. He survives on 12 SCVs, but we have mules. True. They're pretty good. The mules are pretty good. Back. Copium. I mean, hey, Milky Cow is able to outtrade. He has 2-2, so he does pick off a good amount of Hydras. Milky Cow, he's completely all in. He's all in, Bappy. It's all or nothing. This is it. 22 Marines. Stims on forward, catching out some Overlords. But every stim is hurting. Medevacs are running out of energy. Yeah, Medevacs are running out. Hydras, they collapse on the Marines. Iosop is holding. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for Milky Cow. Oof. As Hydras, they so step in. Catching out the tank. Catching out all the Marines. And again, we can just fight head on here. Marines, they're out of energy. The Medevacs are out of energy. They cannot stim. Not freely. And we just keep rallying. At this point, Iosop is getting a 4th base up and running and just keep rallying across the map, setting out more Hydras, more army. So we peel off a couple of Hydras. We have the tank on the high grounds. Hydras, they just head straight for the mineral line instead. They head for the natural. Peeking of more SCVs. Oh god. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Iosop, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Team Proxygate, they do start things off with a lead in the series here, taking the first game. And again, ISLSub just snowballing out of control with Mass Hydra. We didn't mention, of course, that Milky Cow, he did have 3 tanks to defend. He did buy some time. He had a really nice drop across the map. But specifically on Polopoi, that area outside of the natural, or the natural itself, is on the low ground. The area outside of the natural is also low ground. We have high ground right next to it. And that was just a very, very difficult position to defend. The terrain working against the defending player even, just because you're isolated from your own third base and this high ground right next to the entrance to the natural as well. So a very difficult position to defend. With that, Milky Cow tried to make a stand. He could not. He could not make a stand there. He lost everything with that GG. GG, well played. ISLSub did snowball out of control, and with that, Proxygate, they do put a point on the board, and ISLSub will stay on. Who will step in to take Milky Cow's place? So Milky Cow, he is now out, and up next we do have another Terran player, one that's I would say more well versed in StarCraft Evolution, as he's going to be playing the SC Evo Brood War Terran. It is going to be Zardiant. Let's go. Let us go. I mean, I say that. To be fair, I know that Zardiant, I think he race picks, right? I think sometimes he plays Terran, sometimes he plays Protoss. I think Zardiant is quite high level with both of them. So I tentatively say he'll play Terran, but we'll see. We shall see. As we are loading the game, número 2. Oh, okay, there we go. It is going to be Terran. We go. Spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Stony Balls. It is Zardiant. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself representing Team Proxygate. Not a Protoss. It is ISLSub. Let's go. I'm ready for the mech. As we're settling into game number 2 here, ISLSub does kick things off with a win. Remember, this is a best of 7 all-kill tournament, all-kill format, and we're going to be opening up here on Sylphid a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, or top side as well. 3 possible spawn locations. ISLSub opening up hatch first. Quite common to see Terran players go CC first here on Sylphid. We'll see if that'll be the case for Zardiant. It looks like it will be the case, is going CC first as well. But what I'm curious by here is the build of choice. So far, when it comes to Brood War Terran builds, this broadcast, we have seen that 3x stim timing that has been prevalent throughout the course of StarCraft Evolution. But when I think of Zardiant, I think of mech. Not saying that he only plays mech, but he does like to sprinkle it in. He does like to embrace it from time to time. So we'll see if we see some vulture play and some mech out of Zardiant, or if he goes into bio like uThermal did. Ah, there it is. We do see the beginning here of early sim timing. Raxes have been thrown down. Now, I will say that we have seen mech transitions out of 3x stim timings. I want to say that Beyond has been doing that, right? Where we see 3x stim, and then you see that like additional factories as the game progresses. So there's a chance that will happen, but otherwise, again, 3x stim. We saw this from uThermal on this map. We're seeing it here as well. It is very much so the bread and butter of TVX matchups. We'll lead into the Academy, we'll lead into Mass Marine, into Stim, into Medics. Meanwhile, we'll see how ISLSub will deal with this. We have seen many different ways to approach this kind of build. We've seen Roach defenses, we've seen Ling Bane defenses as well. You can kind of like pick your poison and go into Roaches or into Ling Bane. We'll see how ISLSub will approach this. And we'll see how he decides to try to shut this down. Now Link Speed is on the way. Be opening up Link Speed, still keeping 1 worker in gas. Interesting. So we do have some excess gas mining here from ISLSub. This will allow for earlier tech, an earlier Roach Warren, or an earlier Baneling Nest. We'll see what ISLSub goes for here, as you typically would not be mining this much gas. They got new Zerg egg models. Yes, they've been reduced in size, right? I mean, oh sorry, not SE2. Or these X as well. But I believe there were a bunch of model changes that were made a couple days ago. Before this tournament took place, of course. We did have the I think it's 1.20.1 patch, question mark. We did discuss it last night during the podcast. Oh, so everybody is going to be caught out. And we'll supply block gas up. Okay. It's going to be supply blocked. Meanwhile, we were curious what that gas was going to be spent on. Early nest. Early Baneling nest here from Ailsup. Here in the main. So we're going to be going for a Ling Bane defense. Meanwhile, as opposed to against Protoss, here Firebats have their place against Zerg. It's going to be Marine Medic Firebat push here. Let's go. We about to fire it up. As here comes the move outs. Again, Ailsup is aware. Banelings are morphing in. And we'll see how much damage Ailsup does sustain. Now remember, there's no Lin behind this. eBay is on the way. Factory is on the way. We are working on that next step. But we're still hoping that this is able to trade well and pick up some queens and maybe even get into the mineral line. Simpson. Takes on 2 tumors. Oh, the first queen is going to barely not go down. Yeah, Marines are coming for this round. Ooh, Bailers, they connect, and they shut down the Bio Army. Ay, ay, ay. Very clean up here by Ailsup. Shuts down the army. Zardian go caught on creep, caught with his pants down, did not get the queen, and with that, Zardian's completely shut down. Back across the map. No bunker. There's a hole in the wall here. We do have some Marines here to defend. It is going to be 5 Marines so far, getting into 6, but the Lings, they can just surround. They come in for the surround. Boys are being pulled. Do we have any Banelings remaining here? They're still coming. The Banelings are waddling in. SCVs are going down. Oof. Yeah, very rough defense here from Zardians. Losing so many SCVs, and here come the Banelings. No, the Banelings. They're waddling in. Oh my god. Massive connections. 14 SCV kills. Critical damage. And with that, Zardians, he has nothing left in the natural. No mining whatsoever. Evacuates to the main. Depot is going to be going down as well. We're still not done with these Lings. They still go further in. Getting more damage. Oof. Yeah, 18, 19, 20 SCVs. And that's the Ailsup. He's looking to pull a goblin, Pappy. He wants to try. He wants to as he cripples Zardian. Zardian is completely crippled here. And back at home, Ailsup is free to drone, free to saturate, free to build up his own economy. Getting into his lair, Baneling speed is on the way. And due to all that damage, there's no real threat of a counterattack. What do we have to work with here? We have one, I believe, unsieged. Yeah, one regular vanilla tank. Siege mode has not been researched yet. We're getting to mass Firebat for a desperation push. I mean, Firebats, they can trade well against Lings, but there should be Banelings alongside them to defend. The Overlord will spot the move out. Yeah, big scout. Army gets spotted. Firebats as well. 5 Banelings going to be morphing in time. Ailsup getting ready. Siege mode is almost done. True. We'll kick in. Zardian searching for the army. Does find it. Zardian rotates. Tank will siege. But I'm not convinced that there's enough here. There are a lot of Firebats, but there's plenty more Queens and Ling Bane. Queens, they move in. One Queen may go down. Banelings, they crash. The tank falls. There's not much remaining here. The Firebats, they do hold their own, true. Shout out to the Firebats, but they cannot push on to creep due to all these Queens, right? There's plenty of Queens to defend. Oof. Firebats get focused down. Back at home, we have 31 SCVs, barely any saturation at the natural. Again, Zardian is all in, making purely Firebats. Oh, the Firebats. Oh. Does catch one Queen. One Queen goes down. Collapsing on the reinforcements. Firebats don't hear ya. There's one Firebat left, and GG gets called. GG gets called. Ailsup, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Zardian's going for the tried and true 3x stim timing, does hit hard and was baited onto creep. He got surrounded, he got shut down by the Ling Bane response of Ailsup, and because Ailsup defended so well, he had enough to counterattack. We saw that across the map there was no wall off from Zardian, there was just a gap in the wall, so the Lings, they just flooded into the natural base, was able to collapse on the Marines, get into the mineral line. Banelings waddled in as well, and that was critical damage. The game did continue from there a little bit longer, as we saw the desperation all-in counterattack out of Zardian. But alas, like, there was no teeth to it, there was no economy behind it either, so limited reinforcements, limited aggression, and GG. GG, well played with that Ailsup. He continues his reign of terror, papi. Up to 0, takes down 2 members of Stony Balls already, takes down both of the Terrans. And I feel like we only have Zerg left, right? It's like, are we going to field GgMaChine or Young Yakov? Who is going to step up to the plate here? Who do we rely on to try to make that comeback happen? Up next, we have the answer. Okay. It is going to be GgMaChine rising to the challenge. It'll be a ZVZ. Oh boy, it's going to be a ZVZ here, but bearing in mind that we are alternating back and forth, so Ailsup just played with SC2 Zerg, now Ailsup is going to be stuck with Brood War Zerg, and we'll see how this mirror matchup does take place, bearing in mind that it is mirror matchup in name only. The races work very differently from each other here, it can be very intense, very aggressive. We are loading into Blackrock up next. Let's go. Let's go. Are we not good enough to get proxy gated? Are we going to see a single proxy gate out of team proxy gate? Is that ever going to happen? We're 12 pulling. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Blackrock, we have the red Zerg player. We have the SC2 Zerg, the last remaining player of Stony Balls. Can he fight back? Can he bring it back? Can he make a series out of this? The pressure is on. It is GgMaChine. And spawning in the top right hand corner, going for the 12 pool, we have the Brood War Zerg player. So far, 2 wins under his belt, looking to all kill Stony Balls. Kind of pulled off, representing proxy gates. It is Ailsup. Let's go. Let's go. So again, we're going to the 12 pool. Behind this GgMaChine, he's going pool first. Thankfully, safe build. Pool first into a later hatchery here. A much safer build out of GgMaChine, and I believe he should be okay. I believe he should be safe. If he had gone hatch first, I'd be concerned, but again, it was pool first instead. Meanwhile, I'm curious to see if Ailsup does commit. Is sunken colony rushes a thing? If you remember, I believe sunken colonies, they were nerfed in the recent patch, and now they have increased build time. Because of that, I don't really know how viable it is to proxy sunken anymore. Oh, we're going for it. Okay, let's go. But again, that patch was quite recent, so I don't know how viable this is in the meta of ZVZ. As the boys are being sent across the map, we're getting ready here for the Sunkens. Lings are flooding. Ailsup does expand behind this. And again, think of Sunken Rush being similar to the Spine Rush. Of course, you have to morph in the Sunken Colony first. The Creep Colony first, then morph it into the Sunken Colony. But again, this was nerfed in a recent patch. And the build time was increased for the Colony. So we'll see if we can still pull it off. Meanwhile, Lings have arrived. They nibble away here at the initial expansion. Because of the threat of the colony rush, we might even be forced. Do we cancel this? Or can we save it? The boys. Okay, so he's gonna fight for it. He's gonna fight for it. The boys are being pulled. Lings, they move in. So far, better engage here from our blue Zerg. Somebody gets surrounded. No, he gets surrounded and he gets shut down. And with that, GgMaChine, he is holding. The Queen has arrived. GgMaChine does hold. We don't get the opportunity to Sunken Rush, and with that, Ailsup is going to be forced back home. He is droning. He is transitioning out of this. Oof. So again, nice defense by GgMaChine. GgMaChine has a massive lead here. He has a faster expansion. He has a better economy. 19 drones compared to the 14 workers of Ailsup. His natural base just now finishing up, of course. And it's a rough start here. Late gases as well. We have Ling speed on the way for GgMaChine. Ailsup has to wall off. Like, the reality is he has to wall off on 2 bases. He cannot claim a third. He cannot build up. Not against a player with Ling speed without Ling speed himself. Lings, they poke in. They pick up a couple of Zerglings here of GgMaChine. He wants the Queen. He wants it. The Queen. Oh my god, Queen does survive. Again, still a very comfortable economic lead here for GgMaChine. And GgMaChine, he might just Link Flood, to be honest. Like, he could just get away with Link Flood. There it is. Baneliness gets thrown down, hidden behind the main. Iosop is trying to wall off. We need those colonies back at home. Iosop's in trouble. He's in trouble, man. As again, the Bane Bust is upon us. We're amassing up Zerglings, waiting for Link Speed to pull the trigger. And we're gonna need a miracle hold here. Like, it's gonna be rough. Without a full wall, no shot. No shot. Here comes the Link Flood, here comes the Bane Bust. We're rushing across the map, but Link Speed is only halfway done for Iosop. He's only got one colony. No, the wall's open. Yeah, the wall's not a wall. Lings, they flood in. The boys are being pulled. Drone's going to be going down. And no Banelings. We have 6 Banelings still on the way. And even without the Banelings, this is critical damage here. 10 drones already going to be falling. Ay, ay, ay. Only one colony. No full wall. Banelings, they roll in. Massive connections. They take down the colony. Head into the main. We're headed for the mineral line, pappy. We're moving in. Oh, my God. Yeah, nice split here from Iosop, but this is still too much damage. And Stony Bulls, they will fight back. They will fight back. They'll make a series out of this. GG gets called, and GgMaChine puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, it will not be a one-sided series here. The comeback has begun. Let's go. Let's go. It's all about Zerg today. But it also means that now Stony Bulls will have the opportunity to play against what this team is known for, the Protoss. The Proxy Gate, baby. Let's go. As we can catch up on the score so far. As you can see here, we have our best of 7. Iosop did begin the series, taking down Milky Cow 1-0, took down Zardian as well, took down both Terrans. It took a Zerg, it took GgMaChine to stand in his way. Again, Iosop went for the 12 pool, GgMaChine went pool first, so GgMaChine, he had the build order advantage. He was able to shut down the aggression, shut down the attempted sunken rush, and just snowball out of control from there with a higher economy, higher drone count, and faster gas income with faster link speed and banelings as well. And now it's time for Team Proxy Gate to field their Protoss players. Oh boy. Up next, GgMaChine versus Nihed. Oh, okay. Vamonos, papi, vamonos. It is going to be the Hungarian Protoss player as we load into our next game. Not quite on match point, but on match point. Let's go. Let's go. We're getting ready here for our next game. For our next map. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of match points, we have the red Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg representing Stony Bulls, beginning that comeback. Can he keep it going? Can he keep it up? It is GgMaChine. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the SC2 Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Proxy Gate from land of Hungary. It is Nihed. And I didn't see a Proxy Gate. Just saying. I didn't see it. It's back at home. The gateway gets run. I mean, we could still see some proxy gateways coming into the early to mid game, of course, to reinforce and to harass across the map. For now, the gate expand a standard setup here out of Nihed. Likewise, it is going to be hatch first out of GgMaChine as well. Okay. Let's go. Now, I'll be honest, when it comes to Nihed, I haven't really seen too much of his StarCraft Evolution play. I haven't seen too much of it. I want to say he's relatively active in SC Evo, but again, I haven't been seeing too much of his play. The other teammate on Proxygate, Rake plays a lot of Evo, for sure. Like, we see Rake a lot in these tournaments. Does quite well for himself as well. Nihed, again, a little bit less familiar with his play in this mod, but, I mean, it may not really matter because he's playing SC2 right now. He's playing SC2 Protoss. And we'll see how GgMaChine will be able to keep up. I did mention this earlier, that in my mind, ISOP is a lot more accomplished when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, more so than GgMaChine and Young Yakov. They don't really play too much SC Evo. They were a little bit more active at the start of the year, if you remember. Let's go. As he pokes in, pulls away. Looks like there was a bit of a... okay. I was curious what the question marks are for, but it looks like there was some latency issues. 8,000 ping. Crazy. But we're good to go. Oh. As otherwise, we do have our standard openers. Again, welcome to Match Point. Match Point is a smaller map of the map pool. I say smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground, very short rush distance by ground, but you do expand away from each other, right? You expand into the linearly into the corners of the map. This map, I mean, so far has presented the best game of the year. It was like we had a crazy PvP earlier on this map in the previous series. We'll see if we can make up for that, as it is going to be a robo opener in PvZ of all things. Huh. Are we thinking Colossus base opener, Robo into Bay into Colossus? Are we thinking Colossus drop even, so Robo into Bay into Colossus, the Prism and a drop play across the map? Or something else, Disruptor Rush, or even like an Immortal base, 2-base all in? We'd even just go Robo into Prism, into just harass across the map. Curious. Eyes on your head. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Hydra tech here by GgMaChine, which is standard building up, going into Ling Hydra. We did see ISO previously in game 1 rush into Queen's Nest, rush into Queen Hydra. Don't really see that happening here. I do see a more Hydra heavy composition into potentially Lurkers. Meanwhile, it is going to be for the last Bay, it is going to be for the last Colossus. So Colossus are going to be amassing. Technically, this can lead into fast Disruptor play, but no shot. Like, that's not... That's not really a reliable way here to open up. Would be crazy, would be spicy, but we're expecting fast Colossus. Oh! Hello. Este. Okay. We cancel the Bay. We throw down another gateway. We start the Immortal production. We're setting up for a 2-base all-in. Sentry production has begun here as well. Vamonos, papi, vamonos. We're setting up here for 2-base all-in. Going for a Soul Train-esque all-in instead. Okay. Especially on a small map, there we go, more gateways are on the way. Especially on a small map like this does make sense. And so far, GgMaChine is unaware. GgMaChine, he has scattered further tech. He saw the Bay, he saw the Colossus. GgMaChine, he's droning, he's saturating. The hope here for Nehead is that GgMaChine is too greedy. That's the hope, is that GgMaChine, he drones up too hard, he drones up too much, gets a 4th base, takes up as well, and gets ready for something that isn't coming his way. He gets ready for a later timing when something else hits much faster. You'll see. But now though, we have our Immortals, we have our Sentries warping in as well. We're still building up our forces. We do have Spotter Lings here ready to scout any move outs. We don't have an Overlord in position though. Yeah, there's no backup Overlord ready for a scouts. Going into Spire Tech. Oh. Okay, so a Hydra base opener into a Spire. All right, of course. This should just be for Scourge. If he believes that we're going to be rushing into Colossus, then Scourge typically shut this down. I was thinking Muta play, which is also accessible here, but Scourge will make more immediate sense against Colossus. But Scourge or Mutas will not help against what's coming his way. Here comes the all-in. Yeah, here comes the 2-base all-in. Massive army. We got 2 Immortals. We have 7 Sentries, mass force fields. Bearing in mind that Brutal Zerg does not have a way to deal with force fields, and he throws down additional spore colonies. Yeah, the spore colonies, they will not help. Prism is on the way to reinforce. Nehead is coming. And what do we have to defend? We have so far 14 Hydras, a decent Hydra count. He has the high ground advantage as well. True. Does have the high grounds. Remember, mischance is a thing. And it's all or nothing here for Nehead. He's got to go. He's got to send it. We got to send it, Bappy. We could have tried to rotate to the top side and push down into the 3rd. Where are we? Oh, we're jumping into the main. Okay, okay. We're jumping into the main base. I believe the Hydra should be able to react. Does with the Prism. We're trying to force field. Too late, yes. There's too much distance. There's too much distance here. Cannot force field the entrance. Cheeky moves out of near head, but not gonna pay off. Yeah, it's not paying off here. Near head rotates over. Looks away some of the Hydras. That's a little waste DPS. Not bad. Does take down what, 6 Hydras? Yeah, 6 Hydras go down. Army rotates to the main. GgMaChine, does he keep up? Does he notice? Does he notice? Does he notice? Oh no! Oh no! He doesn't notice. The Scourge coming. Oh, the Scourge though! They come in, they take down the Prism. We can force field, but we cannot reinforce. Wow. The Scourge, they pay off in the end. Shout out to the Scourge. And with that, Lurker production has begun. We have Lurker tech on the way, getting into Lurker production, and the all-in has failed. Oof. The all-in has failed. Knee backs off. Third base is now on the way. Bay is now done. Disruptors are now going to be amassing instead here. Again, you cannot get into Colossus, not against all these Scourge. They come in for the scouts. They confirm the tech switch. Confirms Disruptors. He sees, he knows. And from here, I mean, we'll see who can build up. Now, what I will say, something that's working in Nehead's favor, Nehead didn't kill workers, but GgMaChine didn't drone, right? The drone count is actually quite low for GgMaChine. So, on the one hand, he defends, he survives, but he doesn't really have the economy that you would expect here in this kind of position. So, lack of saturation, lack of economy will be slowing GgMaChine down. It does give Nehead the opportunity to recover. On top of that, even though the all-in failed, Nehead retained his army, right? Didn't lose any immortals, did lose some sentries, but for the most part was very, very careful with his army control and retained his composition, so we can still build up in towards the mid-game. We can build up into the mid-game. Blink is on the way. More Disruptors are amassing. We're going to be careful with the rally, though. Oh. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Nehead. As against Scourge, they're still sharking around, still scouting. We may just throw away a Disruptor here. Oof. Yeah, it's an expensive loss. Losing one Disruptor. Looking like it was maybe rallied with the hallucination, or maybe a misrally from the Robo for an Observer. Does happen. Queen's Nest is on the way for eventual Queen production, for eventually Hive, but Lurkers have arrived. Yeah, we have our lair tech Lurkers. Army's moving in. Novas, they can hold their own. First Novas go off. Ooh. Nibbling away at the army. One Nova connects. The other does graze the army as well. So that's it though. Yeah, that was all the Novas. That was all the Novas. Lurkers, they move in. GgMaChine has the high ground. Third base is exposed. And the third base will go down. Yeah, third base is going to fall. Novas, there are a couple of them left. Against some decent connections, but it's not good enough. Oh. Oh my god. I mean, the Novas are solid. Don't get me wrong. They're very nice. But it's not enough. Oh my god. Novas, they continue. There are so many of them. Novas, they keep popping up, but alas, the base still falls. Expansion goes down. Mutas, they do harass here at the natural. Not many mutas. Just a handful of them. Just causing a bit of distraction. I just realized, zero detection, there's no Observer. Yeah, no Observer is still on the way. One Lurker goes down. GgMaChine having a hard time pushing into this army. That is true, but GgMaChine has map control, right? He's in control. Has taken over the map, now moving further in. Collapsing the army. Novas, they do connect. And Novas are connecting, but that GgMaChine is still breaking through. Oh. Force shields, they're buying time. They're trying to buy time. Oh my god. There's still a couple of force shields left. Nehead trying to hold the line. 12 probes go down. But he can only buy time for so long. As we're again running out of force fields. Army moves in. Novas, they... Oh my god. Good connections. But it's too much. It's too much things. They swarm on top of the army. GG gets called, and GgMaChine does fight back, tying up the series 2-2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, GgMaChine does fight back, does take down another opponent, and now we have one player left for Proxy Gate. Uno más, papi, uno más. Now, I say one player left. Remember, this is a best of 7. Best of 7. Remember, there's a revive available. Both teams do have a revive after they do spend all their players. But again, one player left here for Team Proxygate. Up next is going to be Rake, winding it back. I really appreciate the build there from Kneehead to reveal the Bay and to hard switch into a 2-base all-in. Unfortunately, I don't think they quite kind of took the map in mind. Specifically here on match point, sure, rush distance by ground, the army got across the map quite quickly, that is true, but the ramp coming into the natural was brutal, and you saw that that Kneehead could not actually push up that ramp. We saw that when GgMaChine counterattacked, you can actually rotate to the south side or the top side depending on spawn location, and from the high ground hit the third base. That would have been a better angle of attack. But clearly we saw that Kneehead, he wanted to do something different. He wanted to threaten the natural and then force field the entrance in the main. But the problem is, specifically on match point, that entrance to the main base is actually really far in. Like, yeah, the prism has a lot of room, has a lot of area to traverse to actually get the sentry within range of that entrance to force field. So it was a cheeky move, but never paid off. Never paid off, never could quite pull it off, as there was just too much room. There was just too much space, too much distance between the map itself and that entrance. So was ambitious, was very, very ambitious. Didn't quite pan out there, and now we have our next series ready, our next game ready. It is going to be GgMaChine versus Rake. We're loading into washout. Here we go, and spawning in the top right hand corner of washouts, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. We have the last remaining player for his team, for Team Stony Balls. Can he pull off a all kill? True, he's got 2 wins under his belt. It is GgMaChine, the C2 Zerg, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player. The last player for his respective team, for Team Proxygate. We have yet to experience any Proxygate play. We saw some all-ins and some aggression from the last Protoss. This one has a lot to live up to. It is Rake. Let's go. Let us go, as we do have our initial 14 pool. Oh, actually, okay. So 15 pool here by GgMaChine, so it is going to be pool first out of our Zerg player. I mean, I don't blame him. He's up against Proxygate, so he's expecting a Proxygate safe start here from our red Zerg player. Meanwhile, Rake, Brood War Protoss, is going to open up with a Nexus first. Nexus first out of Rake. Meanwhile, pool first out of GgMaChine. We're settling in. Oh, he's crazy. It is Nexus first. Nexus first into a Forge, into a Cannon Rush. Okay, not quite a Proxy Gateway, but again, aggression nonetheless. The pylons are going to be on the way here. The Cannon Rush is upon us, and unfortunately for Rake, pool first. Remember, Link production has already begun. Oh, so is this just a Forge fast expand? Yeah. The probe arrives, does confirm that the hatchery is delayed. I didn't see a Cannon Rush doing anything here. And with that, we do have a much more, quote-unquote, like, safer start here. Yep, defensive cannons. Defensive cannons. Now, with an opener like this, it does open up the possibility here for, like, a Stargate opener. To open up Stargate and to open up Scout, and then to maybe follow that up with a fast fleet beacon into a carrier rush. Like, that is a viable option now for Rake, as he's going to be defending here with, you know, buildings more than anything. He's free to tech up. Now, GgMaChine is aware. He, of course, does scout the Forge. He's aware of the initial Forge expand. Cybercore is now on the way. It's going to be on GgMaChine to confirm whether or not we do see a Stargate follow-up. As GgMaChine is droning, he does pull out of gas, so standard follow-up here, pulling out of gas, droning up his natural. And the pylon is behind the mineral line. Very suspicious. Very suspect. Want our money back. No proxy gates. Yeah, the most likely is not going to be proxy gate this game. No shot. Not even in the mid-game. Overlord moves in.
Newly birthed queen ready.
And what's it going to be? There is Stargate. Stargate is going to be on the way. GgMaChine does rotate here to the natural, and again, especially off of a Forge base opener, high chance Stargate, high chance Skytoss rush, opening up Scout first, then into Skytoss, into the Fleet Beacon. This might just be just mass scouts. I do know that the scout has had a lot of iterations over the past year, a lot of iterations, a lot of changes, to the point where scouts are now a lot more robust, they're a lot more useful, they're a lot more viable. So I don't want to rule out the possibility of this just being mass scouts. But we'll see. We'll see when and if the Fleet Beacon gets thrown down. And now the initial scout has been spotted. And back at home, we should be seeing a Hydra-based response, just because it's a little bit faster. We'll see if we go Queen into Spire into Corruptor. Which is harder to pull off, but we'll see. Lair has begun. His Lair first had a GgMaChine. Pulls back the Overlords. We're going to have to rely on the Queens initially for early game defense. Scouts are coming. No shot Rakers and Mass carries. Yeah. I want to believe that as well. I want to believe he will. I'm a little bit out of the meta when it comes to PvZ, and I don't want to rule out whether or not like mass scouts is a viable thing in this matchup. I don't think it is, but leaving the door open. Just because I know that the scout was changed a lot and was buffed and then nerfed and then buffed and then nerfed. But there it is. So it's going to be quadruple scout into the Fleet Beacon, into Carrier. Let's go. So I say buffed and nerfed and buff nerfed. It was buff, nerfed, reworked, and then reworked, and then Scout got a lot of reworks in SEVO. There we go. Does rotate to natural. For now, just keeping tabs here on what GgMaChine is up to. Once again, we're waiting for the Hydrogen or the Spire. Waiting for the tech of choice. Hydrogen does have more short-term gains. Meanwhile, the Spire, I would say, is better long-term. And it is going to be the Hydrogen. Okay. So again, the Hydrogen finishes up faster. Hydra tech does amass up faster as well. Fun fact, hey, look, I left the door open for mass scouts. We left it open for a reason, because we're not stopping scout production, and so far I believe that is scout speed. Okay, we are going mass scout. Let's go. See, Akeron in the chat had me doubt myself. Had me. You made me doubt. As here we go. As more scouts are building up. Claiming our natural, sorry, our third. We will have some Infestor support. Now, I believe this is pre-patch Infestor, so I believe that my Microbial Shroud still has to be researched. It doesn't come with the Infestor. 2 more Stargates. More Mass Scouts. And we have how many? We have 9 scouts so far. Soon to be 11. Soon to be 11 scouts. We can two-shot Queens. We can two-shot the Queens. Hydras are still building up. Harassing the mineral lines. Fungal does land. But no follow-up. Yeah, there's no follow-up here to these Fungals. The Queens, they do help support. They do catch one scout so far. Just the one. And now we have the transition. Now we switch into Carrier. We've built up to how many so far? 9 scouts. Hydras are building up. So Fungals are going to be available here. And how many Hydras do we have? Not many. We're actually just redroning. This is where I would want to see... there's a capacity upgrade for the Carrier, I believe. Getting to the capacity upgrade. But this is where I would want to see a Spire at this point. Hive is on the way. Okay. We'll see if Hydra Infestor or Viper can pull this off. From my understanding, it's a much more difficult composition to make work against Skytoss. Not impossible, just a little bit more difficult. Just because, of course, Hydras are limited by the terrain. More so than Corruptors. And Carriers can use that to their advantage, of course, to avoid said Hydras. It's out position. And the Sky Toss is coming. There's the Spire. A little bit late, but the Spire is on the way. Microbial Shroud is going to be kicking in a little bit later as well. Now, because this is all going to be kicking in a little bit later, it does give Rake a lot of time to build up his forces on 3 bases. But in that time, GgMaChine has 98 drones, has the entire map at his disposal, plus high-yield bases. Remember, these are hybrid expansions on Washout, so they even have more value than normal. GgMaChine should be the first to max, and should be able to trade as well. Like, max out, build up a bank, a trade with his opponent, and then make sure that Rake never maxes. That should be the dynamic here. Nice fungal! And nice Shining Fungal, catching out 1, catching out 2, catching out 3, 4. Ooh, 4 scouts go down. Massive pickoffs. Down to 5. Yeah, down to 5 scouts. Will scout the Spire. And will supply block GgMaChine quite heavily, actually. Oh my god. That's 6 Overlords going down. The Overlords. Hydras they attempt to intercept. Not quite able to. Scouts they find some workers. Buying time. Hydra lunges on the way. Vipers as well. GgMaChine is maxed out. Likewise working on those Spire upgrades as well, getting ready for that Corruptor switch. And here comes the army. Here comes the first push. And again, the goal here isn't necessarily to kill Rake, but it is to cripple. It is to at least trade and maybe reset the scout counts, trade with the interceptors, break through some of the side defense, and kind of soften this position. And there's that Microbial Shroud. Hydras, they start to step in. They start to step forward. We have more Microbial Shrouds. And carriers, they attempt to engage here, but interceptors should just be focused down. Yeah, and again, Rake has limited economy as well, bear that in mind. Losing so many interceptors, even with the capacity upgrade, but we need more Microbial Shrouds. Uh-oh. Yeah, we need more. Alas, that was it. GgMaChine pulls away, but this is what we wanted. Again, when it comes to this trade, when it comes to this fight, was able to take down 3 cannons, 3 scouts, was able to take down 17 interceptors, 1 shield battery. Again, just kind of soften up this position and get ready for the next start, for the next wave of Corruptor. And you see the GgMaChine, he's refining his composition. Now switching to Corruptors. I will say that at this point, though, the drone count is hurting GgMaChine more than helping. Remember, we have high-yield bases, we have hybrid bases, so you could even argue that we can get away with a lower drone count, but GgMaChine, he has 103 drones. That's crazy. This means that the main army is going to be smaller than it should be. Now, this is okay if we start to work on a spore forest, right? If we use these drones to throw down a wall of spores to push them forward with the creep, sure. But otherwise, like, I'm a little bit concerned about that, as we do abduct the first carrier. Gets 1. 1 carrier gets caught. Going for the other. There's a Microbial Shroud, catching out more carriers. A little bit of a little bit messy there when it comes to the Microbial. Sorry, when it comes to the Blinding Clouds. I'm gonna say Parabombs. That's it. A little bit messy. Yeah, a little bit messy here. But overall, decent trade. 2 Vipers survived. And we can see a Corsair switch here out of Rake. Now, ideally, we do want to Parabomb the Corsairs. You want to Parabomb the Corsairs, not the carriers, to punish them clumping. That's why we said that it was a little bit messy there when it comes to the Viper usage. I just say rotate. We built up to 9 Corsair so far. 4th base is denied. There's a lot of side defense that's amassing it for Rake. And here comes that Remax. I'm hoping that GgMaChine does not make us any more drones in this game. We're good. 100 drones back. Like we're fine. Calm down. So we have 15 Corsairs. Oh my god. It's all about those spell caches. To fungal and to Parabomb the Corsairs, there's no like counter, like feedback play available here for Rake. I would still say that this main army is still lacking when it comes to what you want in PvZ without any like storm supports or Archon supports. Or feedbacks. Oh, does deduct. Gets one. Ooh, Viper goes down. Nice focus firing here on the Vipers, catching up both Vipers. Yeah, 2 Vipers do fall. Does land one of the power bombs though. Oh my god, the Corsairs! Yeah, Corsairs, they get very low. Once again, they get punished for clumping. Okay, that's what you want. You want those power bombs on those Corsairs. GgMaChine has to rebuild his Vipers. Likewise is setting up some Spore. There it is. I was curious. I was like, the drone count is a little bit lower. We have the Spore Forest on the way. We're staying with the Spore Forest. Ideally, I would say that we build up into Broodlord, Infestor, Corruptor, Viper. Right now, we saw a transition into Ultras. Like, we do have the Ultra tech kind of being worked on instead. Do we have a Greater Spire? No, not yet. Yeah, no Greater Spire. Like, Ultras can be really good if there was some ground supports like High Templar and Archons, and Ultras, they have their place, of course. Against a wall of static defense like this, I would say the Broodlords are superior. They're just more efficient than Ultras. But no Greater Spire yet. For now, just relying on the Hydras. Gets one, gets 2 cannons. They're able to nibble away at the wall. More creepers spreading. He just has to get punished. Battery goes down. And we don't quite find an abduction target yet. Oh. You can see GgMaChine is fishing. Like, the Hydras are the bait. He's trying to bait out the army. And then, bam, dive in with a power bomb. Or abduction. Is making an Ultra. Again, I mean, it has a similar role, and you know what? There's not that many cannons left, so, I mean, yeah. Like, GgMaChine can do whatever he wants. Do whatever he wants. He's far enough ahead. Yeah, third base is being broken. Rake, he's all in. He's pushing deep on creep. Corruptors, they collapse in. Here comes a powerbomb. Powerbomb on the carrier. Oof. There's one of the fungals. Oh, no, the infestors. Pull away. Gee, oh my god. And you can see that powerbomb did so much damage to the Corsairs. They are deep in the orange. And some in the red. Also, brutal powerbomb. Oh, the neural. Yeah, neural some of the carriers. We commit in. We just collapse on the army. We focus on the carriers, and with that, GgMaChine should clean this up. I don't think it was target firing though, so a little bit messy. Yeah, a little bit messy there. With that, the carriers actually win the fight. Base is falling, but GgMaChine is making 30 Corruptors. Oh my god. 30 Corruptors on the way. Do we have any Vipers? 2. 2 Vipers, and the Infestor survived. Infestor did survive. Now, the best case scenario here for Rake is that he's able to catch Corruptors as they're popping. So right now we have 34 Corruptors on the way, but as you can see, we're camping some of the eggs. We're camping some of the eggs. And 3 Corruptors get caught out. Yeah, 3, 4 Corruptors. Ooh, oh my god, the Parabomb! Yeah, the Parabomb and the Fungal combo as well. And now we just collapse in. We collapse in on the army. Yeah, Corruptors, they get on some of the carriers. GG gets called, and GgMaChine, he will take down Rake. And he does pull off, in a sense, the all kill. GG. GG, well played. GgMaChine, he takes out every member of a team. Proxygate takes down Rake. Again, Rake going for a Nexus first into Forge, into Skytoss. When initially he went Mass Scout, then into Carrier, then into Corsair, trying to make Mass Skytoss work. But unfortunately, the economy was lacking. He couldn't stop the economy of GgMaChine because of such a turtle-heavy and defensive style. GgMaChine, he freely droned up to 102, right? There was nothing harassing, nothing pressuring GgMaChine except for the initial mass scout. The initial mass scout was applying some pressure. After that, nothing. After that, GgMaChine, he was free to mass expand, mass drone up, even over drone, I would say, and just take control of the entire map. And from there, he could do whatever he wanted, as he was denying the 4th base, he was catching out the army, trading with the army as well, and yeah, with that, Ray could never really build up his force into that death ball of an army that he wanted. He had some potential towards the end there when it came to his push, but he was all in, right? He was all in. He couldn't reinforce. It was all or nothing. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we now have a revive. So the way this works here, again, we have a best of 7, first to 4, teams of 3. And we do see that GgMaChine, he took down ISOP, he took down Nehead, he took down Rake, and now we have a revive remaining for both teams, and Proxygate are forced to use their revive. Who do we revive here? I mean, ISOP was carrying earlier, and the ZVZ was decided almost like a build order win. Remember, ISOP went for the 12 pool, and GgMaChine went pool first. Do we try to revive ISOP to have him bring it back here? Does he have the most potential against GgMaChine? I think so. We'll see. It's their choice. Team Proxygate. Who's it gonna be? Yeah, ISOP. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. ISOP. He's coming in here. He's gonna be revived. ISOP even is gonna be revived here, and now we have a bit of a role reversal. This time, ISOP plays SC2 Zerg. GgMaChine playing Brood War Zerg. Oh boy. And again, this is the final player here, the final life for Proxygate. Can he force the ace match? True. Can we force the ace match? Let's go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Fear and Faith, we do have the red Zerg player, himself. Oh, one momento. There we go. We have the red Zerg player himself. We have the Brood War Zerg representing Stowny Bulls. It is GgMaChine. 1 game away from pulling off the all kill and spawning in the bottom right hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player, the SC2 Zerg, the last remaining player for his team. It is ISOP. He's the revived player, Pappy. Let's go. Pool first here by GgMaChine. Not at an early 12 pool timing, just a regular pool first. Meanwhile, hatch first out of ISOP. Welcome one and all to Fear and or Faith. This is a full player small map. You can spawn in bottom right, top left, and bottom left as well. 4 possible spawn locations, and as a result, there is a bit of an RNG factor when it comes to where you're loading in, but there is a way to counteract that, of course. That is with the subway system, the monorail system, if you will. We have these tubes connecting every corner of the map, and we'll see who scouts where first. ISOP with the first overlord will find GgMaChine. ISOP scouts top right, GgMaChine scouts top left. Of course, the overlord of GgMaChine will find the overlord of ISOP, so they scout each other. And now GgMaChine knows. He sees the direction of the overlord and the trajectory of the overlord, so is now aware that ISOP spawned on that bottom right hand side. Should be rerouting. There we go. Does reroute the overlord. Now, what's important though is that ISOP, he will scout the initial build first. GgMaChine knows where ISOP spawned in, but he doesn't know it was hatched first. ISOP sees the delayed expansion, does see the early lings, and ISOP is aware of what's coming his way. With this, he'll have to defend with his own ling production, and he'll have to pull the boys, most likely. It's going to be up to ISOP to minimize worker losses to be able to take a lead with a higher drone count. Let's go. Oh. Lings epic in. Lings are amassing for ISOP, pulling back to his main base. Is oversaturated, but again, as long as he minimizes drone losses, he should be fine. Oh, as both armies do engage with each other. GgMaChine nibbling away at the hatchery, but that's fine. You can use the hatchery like a resource, just tanking. Queen does not get surrounded, and ISOP defends. ISOP does hold. ISOP does have a worker advantage, does have a worker lead. Behind this, we do see a Hydra Den on the way. Lair is likewise in production. Sorry, a backup hatchery as well. So we're staying on hashtag, of course, just going for the Hydra Den, building up into Ling Hydra early on. Into 2 base Ling Hydra. but I will give the edge to ISOP. Better economy. Should be able to gain map control as well once link speed kicks in. Once it kicks in. It was earlier gas income from GgMaChine. True. Earlier gas, earlier link speed. GgMaChine just containing ISOP. And ISOP is still in gas. Oh! Doesn't quite get the queen. Tempted. He wants it! He wants the queen! Oh, doesn't quite though. Yeah, GgMaChine forced to pull away. Hydras are massing, does double back around, it does not get the queen, and comes in for the scouts. Yeah, it does move in. We'll confirm additional gas mining, and there's no roach warren, no lair, no Bailey nest. Not yet. Do you see GgMaChine fully walling off? Oh, Hydras have to move in position. They will amass. Yeah, they do amass here. A couple of Hydras will go down. Losing 1, 2 Hydras. But GgMaChine holds. It does hold on. A nice cancellation as well. Not wasting money, not wasting resources. And GgMaChine is not droning. Oh, he's not droning up at all. 25 workers. It's going to be a 1.5 base all-in out of GgMaChine. Pure Ling Hydra. Now, back at home, Banelings would be ideal, but there's no Ling Bane defense. We're going lair first. No Bailey nest, no Roach War, no nothing. ISOP is being too greedy. Yeah, being far too greedy here. The all-in is coming. Cashing on Overlord. Getting 1, 2, 3 Overlords, and this will supply block ISOP. Yeah, brutal supply block. Spine coolers are on the way in a panic. Queens are low from earlier. The army has arrived. Queens are exposed. Gets 1. Yeah, 1 queen left. And with that ISOP, he was just too greedy. Too greedy. He did not respect this. Going lair first. Taking a 3rd base. No Roach War. No Balinus. Hydras that get surrounded. They will still trade though. They take down 13 drones. 14 even. Now, funnily enough, GgMaChine was droning behind this. If he was committing to the all-in, he kills 100%. He kills 100%, but he was droning up instead. Didn't have faith, Pappy. He had fear instead. So ISOP, he survives. He survives, and you know what? He survives with a 3rd hatchery, and he's not too far down in workers. But he's still down in tech. Oof. Yeah, GgMaChine is overextending. Throwing away a couple of Hydras. Hydras that get thrown away. GgMaChine amassing on more army back at home. And who drones first? Who techs up as well? Like, does ISOP tech up either? Like, oh, so far we're just flooding Lings, just pure Ling here from ISOP. I feel like this won't scale too well. More gas is being taken. GgMaChine here looks like he plans on droning. Yeah, he makes a stand. He does trade these Lings. So many Zerglings falling here. Yeah, this is not worth it for ISOP. He throws away so much. Oh god. He picks up 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 Hydras. Does pick up a couple, but these are still rough trades for ISOP. You can see here, he was able to kill some Hydras. I mean, this is a bit of a longer kill count. Here he's backing off, trying to go into Lingbane Hydra himself. Again, late tech from ISOP. He was so tunnel visioned. And GgMaChine is counterattacking. Here comes a counterattack. Does somewhat pull into gas, somewhat. And again, it's just a Ling defense. It's only Zerglings. Once again, the boys are being pulled, and GgMaChine should have enough this time. GG and GgMaChine with the all kill. He takes down Kneehead, takes down Rake, takes down ISOP, but he takes down the revived ISOP as well. GG. GG, well played again. ISOP feels so greedy in this game. He did decide to go lair first. He skipped the Bailey nest. He skipped the Roach Warren. He was purely getting a hatchery, getting a lair, he was droning up as well, and he was caught by the 2-base all-in. It didn't quite kill, especially because GgMaChine was droning behind the all-in, so he wasn't too committed initially. He could have been more committed, which I think would have just killed ISOP, but instead he droned. I think he made 5 drones. He made like 5 drones. Made a couple of workers, took his gases, built up back at home, was able to outscale, and again, ISOB, he was just stuck. He was stuck with the low drone count. He was stuck on mass Ling. He tried to take up towards the end, but after Ling flooding, he went for his own Ling flood, which failed against the Ling Hydra. He threw away so many Zerglings. And GG, well played. Congratulations, GgMaChine. He will claim the series and pull off the first all kill of the tournament. GG, well played. You can have a look here at the bracket yourself. You can have a look at the scoreline. Initially, ISOB, he kicked things off. He took down Milky How, he took down Zardiant. ISOB, he was popping off. He did have a strong start. But then GgMaChine, the machine himself, he pops off. He takes down ISOB, Kneehead, Rake, and once again in that revive match as well, takes down ISOB, pulls off the all kill. GG, congratulations. GgMaChine does claim the entire series here for his team for Stony Bulls. So congratulations with that, Stony Bulls. They will qualify for the main event alongside Team Red, White, and Blue. Remember earlier in the broadcast we did have the other series, bam. As you can see, we have the other best of 7, of course. With Team Red, White, and Blue, we had a Goblin alongside Vaeda and uThermal claiming their own series. And honestly, Goblin almost all killed. Remember, Goblin versus Cyan on match point was crazy. It was so good. It was so close. If you missed the broadcast earlier, if you missed the first series, I do highly recommend checking out Team Red, White, and Blue versus Team Old Men. Do recommend it. We had some bangers in that series. Some bangers. But GG, well played with that. Congratulations here to Team Red, White, and Blue and Stony Bulls. Meanwhile, we are going to be wrapping up here for the day. There's still 2 qualifying matches left, but we'll be covering that tomorrow. Bam, as you can see here, we do have our schedule. Saturday morning and Sunday morning, 2 days of Crank Gathers. We just had our first half of the qualifiers. Tomorrow will be the second half of the qualifiers. 2 more best of 7s. 2 more best of 7s, papi. Aye. When it comes to those matches, it's going to be Team CRHB versus UED, and if we lose, it's Crank's fault versus Point Me Mono. The memes are abound, papi. Memes abound. We'll get there. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. So we'll be discussing more about the upcoming teams and upcoming matches tomorrow in tomorrow's Crank Gather broadcast. Once again, it will be in 24 hours. Same start time as this event. Same start time, same place, same channel. Part 2 of the Crank Gather Season 4 Qualifier. We'll see you then. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Once again, this weekend is abound with StarCraft with Homestory Cup. Homestory Cup, of course, is a 3-day event. Day 1 was last night, and today and tomorrow also going to be Homestory Cup. That is why, as you can see here, there's no Tunic Cup. There's no Tunic Cup this weekend. That is because of one, we had the RSL qualifiers earlier in the week, but that's because of Homestory Cup over the weekend. So a lot of players are traveling for Homestory Cup, will not be available for Tunic Cup. So just a heads up, we won't be clashing with Homestory Cup. I could be waiting for it to wrap up instead. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. You get a lot of fun dipping back into StarCraft Evolution. It's been a while since we've been covering too much SE Evo, but with the StarCraft Evolution Championship Code S around the corner, and with SEL Masters also ramping back up, we should be able to cover some more SE Evo soon TM, once we have room for it though. Like right now, our schedule's very busy with Crank Gathers, with our weekly tournaments, with of course OSC. We have FEL at the end of the month. We have Homestory Cup this weekend. A lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. RSL, true, RSL. We had the qualifiers this week. The main event also begins this month as well, leading into BlizzCon. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the remainder of Crank Gather Season 4 qualifiers. See you then. If you want to tune into more of the Cranky Ducklings, you can do so via the socials, !socials in the chat. VODs are available instantly over on YouTube. YouTube is the place to be for VOD content, so do check that out over on YouTube. Likewise, you can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, join our Discord server. We do post whenever we go live. You can interact with us outside of just these casts via Discord, and you can also support us monetarily via Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. It funds Duckling Open, Swan Open, and the Tunic Cup as well. As you mentioned, Tunic Cup is not this week. We typically do reschedule Tunic Cup if it clashes with stuff like GSL, Homestory Cup, RSL, for example. Like, there's a lot of events going on right now, so we don't want to like overlap or clash or have any issues there. So as a result, no Tunic Cup this week. Should be returning next week. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys next time for some more StarCraft action, for some more SC Evo tomorrow. Till then, thanks for watching. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching.